Trump says Biden's auto pen pardons are void, vacant, and of no further force or effect.
I think it's very clear to everybody that Biden was never conscious during any part of his presidency. I don't buy the sometime in 2022. No, the whole time he was.
That's why he was run.
Yeah.
Look, man, he was run to create the illusion of incompetency so that they could get away with the shit that they did.
Yeah.
If you had a guy in there who was competent and said, we're going to let the border open in 17, bro, there'd be a revolt.
Yeah.
All right. So everybody in America was manipulated into thinking that Biden was this poor, feeble, fragile, senile old man, which he was. All the while, they did all of these damaging things to the country intentionally to bring it down. It was straight up manipulation and lies, and they did it so that they could get closer into a globalist society. What is up, guys? It's Andy Frisella, and this is the show for the realists. Say goodbye to the lies, the fakeness, and delusions of modern society, and welcome to reality. Guys, today we have Andy and DJ
Cruise the internet.
That's what we're going to do. That's what CTI stands for. It stands for Cruise the Internet. We're going to get right into it today, so don't forget to pay the fee, all right? If the show makes you laugh, it makes you think, if it gives you new perspective, you learn some stuff, do us a solid and don't be a hoe.
Share the show.
All right. What's up, man?
What's going on, man?
Nothing.
We got some special sauce today.
We do. We are joined
by
my good friend, Mr. Dan Hollaway. Show regular now, I guess.
Yeah. It's number 4, isn't it?
Is it 3 or 4?
I don't like counting.
Yeah.
To be honest.
I mean, who's counting?
In principle, I'm against it. What's the fee if I forget something?
Kicking the balls.
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
Yeah.
Well, who gets kicked in whose balls?
You have to take a kick in the balls.
No, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, you have to take one. That's what we do here.
Yeah.
Bro, kicking the balls is pretty bad.
Yeah, it's not great. One of our mutual fans was talking shit on Twitter the other day about who would win in a fight between you and me.
Between you and me?
Yeah, and I was like, I'd just start tickling him, and then I would win.
You probably would win with that.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
You can't
Are you
stop
ticklish?
that.
Are you not ticklish?
I'm not ticklish.
I'm not at all. Yeah, so that's why
I'm not either.
Survey says
that
was a lie.
Yeah, man, Dan, what's been going on with you, brother?
Just living the dream.
Yeah.
Enjoying Texas.
Yeah, we were talking about it before. Because I was with Andy. We went down to Austin. We went like right past the place.
Yeah, you can't miss it.
But we didn't know if it was like, if that was it though.
I thought I didn't know if that was a spot or if it, because for some reason I thought you guys were all in San Antonio, dude.
Oh no, Jared and those guys are down there.
Yeah,
and Black Rebels HQ, one of their HQs is down there. But yeah, we're up in though. It's barely in Austin. It's like on the
outskirts. Yeah,
yeah. It's like on the maybe 3 or 4 miles away from the city line.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, it's nice out there though.
It is nice. Yeah, we still get hit with their property taxes.
Really?
Yeah, we paid $30,000 in property taxes there.
No way.
A year. Holy shit.
What was that barbecue place we went to out there?
Oh,
Harry Black's, maybe?
No.
Where was it?
It was out there. I mean, I would say it was in between where your spot was and Jesse James. Fuck, what's it called?
Interstellar, maybe?
No. They got there's like 2 main locations. They have one there, and then I think they said there was one downtown Austin. Spanx? Not Spanx. What am I saying?
Laurel, no, they have one up north. It's a good question. I don't know. It's Austin. It's
I forget the name of it. It was fucking delicious.
Wait, is
Switch?
Oh yeah, Switches.
Yeah, Switches.
Yeah, it was awesome.
The other one I mentioned, Interstellar, is a little bit farther north, farther north, and it's they have a Michelin star for barbecue. So next time you're in town, go there.
Dang.
No shit.
Yeah,
Michelin star.
It's not easy to get a Michelin star for barbecue.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Well, I like that Switch place, bro. I'm definitely going back there.
That shit was good.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, you can't get away with bad barbecue in Texas.
Yeah.
Somebody will show up to your house.
Fucking beat your ass. Kick in the balls.
Yeah.
That's what'll happen.
I like it, man. I like
so what's been going on, man?
I hate the government. Mostly, I start from there and work my way out.
You know what? This is why we have so much in common.
Yeah.
I have I should get a second sign. I have a sign in front of it's on my dresser in front of where I sleep, and it says, "It's not about you." That's my life motto. Life's not about you, right? It's about what value you bring, and it's a good reminder when I wake up and I feel like I don't want to get out of bed or whatever. I'm like, no, fuck you.
Yeah,
it's not your turn. But It'll be your turn. It'll be my turn when I'm old.
Yeah.
Then I can fucking lounge around and look on all the good stuff I've done and whatever the fuck. But another one I should get made, another sign I should get made is something about the government sucking or something. Fuck the government or something. I don't know, because, you know, no matter what it is, no matter what system of government happens, it always invariably turns into an engine to extract labor and wealth from the population. That's all it ever is, right?
Dude, I was just talking to one of my friends last night, and I don't want this to be taken the wrong way because I do love this country, but the more I dig into it and the more I realize what has actually occurred here and how far away we are from what this country was supposedly founded on, the more disenfranchised I get with this country. Because the truth of the matter is, and by the way, I'm a patriot, dude. I believe in the ideals of this country. I believe in what it could be. I believe in the people here. And I believe we have a duty and an obligation to make it better. But there's a lot of time that I've spent, which I've never really felt this way before in my life, but I'm starting to become disenfranchised with the idea of America, because I can recognize now at this age that we have been completely fucking lied to about what the country's actually about. You know, we've been sold this bill of goods that it's about the flag and it's about your fellow citizen and it's about, you know, all these things that we agree with, like that are the good. They sound great.
What it's supposed to be.
Yeah, but the reality of what we are, man, in my opinion, is they feed us that shit so that we'll grow up with American pride and want to defend the country and become soldiers or become, you know, the badass people that go out and basically enforce the will of you know, countries like Israel who, you know, can't really defend themselves, or other situations. And it's kind of like, you know, we've been sold this identity that isn't true, and we've been given enough just to make it think it might be true in order for us to grow up and enforce the policies of other countries. That just doesn't sit well with me, man.
No, I mean, it's a top-down approach. When we were supposed to be, I mean, the letter of the law, the Constitution, is quite clear that it's supposed to be a bottom-up organization. And, you know, I don't remember who originally said it. Could have been Ron Paul or Murray Rothbard or something like that, but it's when the state is large, the individual is small. And the point of America is that individual liberty and personal entrepreneurship are the ultimate inoculation to tyrannical bullshit, right? Decentralized authority, decentralized economic authority especially, keeps the government from amassing too much power. We talked about this before the show, but 25% of all new jobs the last 2 years have been government jobs, and the government doesn't make anything. They don't make money, right? So we're basically... I'm sure you've seen companies like this before that the American university system is the best place to look. So the average, this data is from like 2018, so I'm not sure how current it is still, but it's probably way worse than this now actually because of DEI. But the average professor's salary relative to inflation has gone up about 27% over the past 40 years, and the administrative fees associated with an education have gone up 2,000%. Right? And that's bureaucracy. It happens in business and it happens in government. It doesn't matter. And it fails no matter where it happens, always. It has to fail because the bulk of your enterprise should be producing something of value. And if it isn't, then you're going to fail.
Yeah.
The end. I mean, it's really, this is like Keynesian versus Austrian economics or anything like that. It's not like two different houses of economic theory talking to each other. This is just a fucking fact that everybody knows is true.
Yeah, dude. I think, you know, the bureaucracy in business is typically born of the unwillingness to do what you are assigned to do. I've noticed this before, especially in companies that I've consulted for. You know, they hire and hire and hire, and usually the reason they're hiring is because the person who's supposed to do the job doesn't want to do it.
Yeah.
So they're like, well, we need to hire one more, and then we need to hire one more, and then we need to hire one more. and everybody kicks the can, and then when the butcher comes in and starts making cuts, they all surprised why they all get
yeah. In government, we called it the wobbly wheel theory. So Congress passes some appropriations bill, it gets sent over to OPM. You have to do this job. You have 2 years to do it. And OPM, Office of Personnel Management, who does the hiring and firing for the government, says, okay, well, based on our research, we need 2 people to do that job. It's like, all right, cool. You hire 2 people, one of them sucks. So instead of firing that person, which becomes notoriously difficult after their 2-year probationary period, which is why Trump is dumping all these probationary period people, then they just hire 2 more people to do the job.
Right.
Now you've got 4 people doing the job of 2 people. That's government in a nutshell. That's how it works, and it's fucking stupid.
Yeah, and then it spreads, and it's like it just keeps going and going and going and going.
Yeah.
And when it starts to spread, it's an exponential spread.
Yeah. Well, it's accountability is what really matters, right?
Yeah.
And when I say accountability, I mean down to the individual level. Fucking Andy, here are things that you need to get done, and you're responsible for them. If you need help, ask for help, but you're responsible for getting this across the finish line. Do whatever you got to do to make that happen. So I can come back to you as one man and say, hey, did you get it done? And the answer is either yes or no.
Right.
And if you diffuse responsibility, then nobody's ever responsible for shit.
Right.
That is a complete disaster.
Yeah.
No matter what it is, if it's like a military operation or a business or the government running itself.
Yeah.
No matter where you see that, it's nonsense. Somebody has to be accountable.
Yeah, it should never be tolerated in a company.
No. I mean, that's like, especially, this is the problem with most startups. They get money from somewhere, and instead of learning lessons, they buy their way out of stupid situations, and they end up 4, 5, 6 years down the road, and they're looking at an exit sale.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're making good revenue, and I look at your net revenue, I'm like, what is all this bullshit?
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get a multiplier on net revenue instead of a multiplier on EBITDA because your company's not growing the way it's supposed to.
Right.
You've got a lot of fat.
And by the way, you're $300 million in debt.
Yeah.
Well, it's because they didn't earn it, though. It's the same thing with the government. They didn't earn the money. You know what I'm saying? Like a good business entrepreneur that started from the bottom, you've earned it. You have a different look at the money you have versus when you just get the fucking money. Who cares where we spend it? Who cares how much?
Well, this is ultimately a culture problem, if we're being honest. This isn't a problem with organizations, in my opinion. This is a culture that has been enabled and bred into our society and become acceptable. I mean, dude, if you walked around as a man 30 years ago and basically, pretended that you were one of these people that pretended to work but didn't work, you're hiding, you're doing the least amount possible, and then, everybody else is doing it. Bro, the dudes would pull you out back and kick your ass.
Yeah.
Like, they would kick your fucking ass. They'd be like, bro, you're not doing this shit. You need to get the fuck out. Or they'd harass them or bully them or beat them until
they leave.
They start doing their part.
Yeah, or they quit.
Dude.
Right.
We call that self-selection.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's got to be a direct line between effort and outcome that's baked into the human being's brain, right? And that's a survival instinct for us.
But you get what I'm saying, though, bro?
Yeah, it's been
think of how many
unbaked out of our
people.
brains.
Think of how many people go to their job on a daily, like, real talk. Everybody listening. How many motherfuckers do you know that go to wherever it is that you work that do the least amount possible and then hide in the corner when nothing's really going on, or they're fucking around on their phone, or they're playing video games, or they're running the little sneak plays and the get around the workplace, and then those same people are the biggest ones that cry and bitch about whenever they get passed over for an opportunity or they don't get paid what they say they're worth. Bro, you're getting paid exactly what the fuck you're worth.
Yeah.
And to be honest, if I was an employee at a place and I had people doing that around me, I would straight up fucking handle it.
Yeah.
Like they would either start working at like a peer-to-peer handling. Like, hey, you're either going to do the job because I'm not going to look bad because of you.
Right.
Or I'm going to go to the supervisor and be like, dude, this is exactly what this guy does all day. Let's get him the out of here.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we've dissociated ourselves from this. It's again, this is basic instinct for human beings. You don't work, you don't eat. That's how it works, right? Forever.
Yes.
And then we told people, well, it's okay if you don't work. You can still eat. And that's where society began to crumble.
1,000%,
right?
dude.
Yeah.
And there's always ways to get it back. Usually, unfortunately for us, we have to learn that lesson the hard way. Shit's got to go completely wrong, and then the chaff gets blown away with the wind. That's the way it works.
Dude, 1,000%, man. We have people in this country, I think we talked about this recently, that have never faced hardship, ever. They can't even comprehend it. Like, there are people, and it's usually the same demographic of people that advocate for this shit. It's upper middle class white women that advocate for this. And they advocate because they have never felt hardship. They have never had to struggle. They've never dealt with crime. They've never had any of these situations of potentially starving for real.
Yeah.
And so they have this guilty feeling and this need to signal and virtue signal that they're a really good person. And we care about these people, not understanding that, like, dude, these people that you're advocating for in a lot of cases are abusing our system that allows them to live off the money that other taxpayers pay, indefinitely. And we could fix this, real talk, by limiting the amount of financial aid that people get on welfare and Section 8 and making a time frame on it, or making stipulate, like, dude, you have a certain, I'm just throwing this out, but you have a certain amount of time that you can collect that over the course of your life. Or you have to do these things while you get it. It's not just, have another kid and I get more money. Like, that's fucking insane.
Unchecked, for sure.
Yeah.
There's three elements to it, right? So the first one is what you said, and there's kind of a duality to this. It's that they've never felt any kind of external oppression, right? So they have oppression FOMO now, because oppression is the currency, the social currency of today. It used to be honor, courage, right? Being a good man.
Yeah, now it's victimhood.
Now it's victimhood, right? So when you take that into account, these people have oppression FOMO. This person who wants to feel, socially accepted or honored or whatever the fuck you want to call it, now is completely excluded from that because they're white.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why you see at these Antifa rallies, the people that aren't funded by Soros or Russia directly, right? Yeah. They're the only reason those people are there, and then including some of those people who are taking money from them, are just there because they're butt hurt for no reason, right? So that's one element. The second element is when it finally comes and hits them in the face, it's NIMBY, not in my backyard, right? When illegal immigrants start showing up to Cape Cod and shit like that, Martha's Vineyard, it's like, not here, buddy. Yeah, not here. We got to get these guys.
We got to get these guys out of here.
I mean, they can come here.
They had them.
They can't come here.
They had hundreds of illegals gone in 10 hours from there, right?
Did you fucking see their faces when they were
so funny?
It was the best.
It was so funny. It was so funny, man. Oh my God, I got quite a bit of joy out of that. And then the other part is something that you also alluded to, and this is the and I think it does have something to do with this disconnect between effort and outcome that people have. It is, we go through this whole cycle. I think Huberman's actually talked about this from a physiological standpoint, but people go through this cycle where there's a thing that needs to get done in society, and we have been programmed by hundreds of thousands or maybe millions of years of evolution to address that issue. You see somebody that's suffering and it makes you feel some kind of way, and you want to stop that shit from happening, right? That's a good person feels that way. Yeah. So you go over there and stop it. That's how you do that. And then you get rewarded. You get oxytocin, you get serotonin, you get dopamine. Immediately you get serotonin over time, you get oxytocin because you start to develop a connection with that person, right? This new world we're in, where we're completely dissociated from that effort and outcome trajectory. Now people will say thoughts and prayers, or they'll put a flag in their fucking bio, or he, him in their fucking bio, and say, I did it. Yeah. I did the thing. So not only have they done nothing, but they're perpetuating stupidity, and then they haven't actually helped anybody, but they feel good and take credit for it. It's the most narcissistic bullshit of all time. And these are the people who think, regular people don't even consider this, but these are the people who think they're better than everybody else. The people who have literally done nothing functional for anybody in their entire goddamn lives.
1,000%, dude.
Jeez. It's insane. I mean, just when you think about it that way and break it down from point A to point B, it's like, you're a piece of shit.
Well, bro,
you're like one of the biggest dregs on society. Forget about the people even on welfare. You're worse. Yeah. Because you're capable.
Yeah.
I mean, what the fuck?
Well, bro, it's a problem. And I do see culture shifting back towards normalcy and starting, people
young kids are tired of this bullshit.
Bro, and everybody's tired of it. Everybody's tired of the virtue signaling and the fake outrage and the cancel culture and can't say this, can't say that, you're a this, you're a that. let's take their business down. Let's fuck it. Like, bro, no one gives a fuck. No one fucking cares. And that's, you know, that's what happens when you jam shit into society for so long. And there is some unfortunate side effects of that, like when things actually happen with some of these protected classes, quote unquote, no one's going to care anymore. But, you know, these people did it to themselves by overusing it. It's like,
boy who cried wolf.
That's right. Yeah, you call someone a racist enough, eventually they're like, I don't fucking call me whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah. Well, the interesting thing now is that, one, it was never black people doing that.
Yeah.
It was like a couple of black people who grifted, right? But mostly it was white women.
Yeah.
And
I call them brunchers.
Y'all people.
Yeah. Now all these like black dudes and not Tyrese, obviously. He's still butthurt, I guess.
What's up with him?
I have no idea.
Tyrese?
He's a fucking... But
dude, listen, we follow each other on Instagram.
He did a whole 9-minute thing.
I've
about
talked
how,
to him.
If you voted for Trump, man, what the fuck, man? if you're a veteran that voted for Trump, blah, 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 like,
you know what I think?
Up. Dude, you're rich. Shut the fuck up,
dude. I don't get it because he's I don't know, man. It's weird. Like, you know, I mean, what list you on, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like.
He might have some stocks and some baby oil.
It makes you suspicious, but a lot of other dudes, I mean, you're seeing all these, like Yachty was on somebody's cooking show the other day asking him about BLM, and he's like, nah, that's a bunch of bullshit.
That was
They were buying real estate. They weren't helping black people.
Bro, that was awesome.
But that's the average fucking black person in America right now. Because I know that you white liberal ladies haven't ever met one, but I grew up in a black neighborhood. I know these people, right? Like I talk to them. I have actual conversations.
Bro, the same
I'm not concerned that they're going to rob me.
Those are the same women that
idiots.
like when they see a black person coming, they're like,
across the street.
Shit.
They just like get on the fucking ground. I'm not worthy.
It's like, have you ever even met a black person before? You fucking dummy.
No.
No, they haven't.
When they do,
I saw
they
that
call
clip
the police on us for fucking barbecue.
Yeah.
Fucking parks.
You're barbecuing at the park, like, hey, there's some black people here. Is that okay? Is that okay? Like, yeah, man, it's 2025.
Yeah. Bro, I saw that
back.
that podcast, dude, that with Yachty, and it was like a black girl, right? Yeah. And she was like, I'm the biggest pro-black, and he's like, no, you're not. Like, and he starts going in. He's like, they were buying mansions. They were doing this. They were doing that. You ain't for black people. Like, it was really good.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know, the best economy, like, this is, maybe it's reductive, I don't know, but I think providing the best possible economy for somebody gives them the best opportunity to liberate themselves from any oppression, whether it's the government or hate groups or whatever the fuck.
Totally agree.
I think that's the best way to do it. And there's never been a better economy for black people than under Trump in his last term, ever in the history of this country. It's not even close.
No, statistically, that's a fact.
Yeah. That's just a fact. So, like, what helps somebody more? Your little speech that you give,
or your bumper sticker,
or the food that gets put on their table. Yeah.
Bro,
which one is it?
You get criticized for that as entrepreneurs. Like people will say shit like, you know, well, you know, I'm not into the material things because they're this and that and this. I go feed the homeless. Well, I've built schools. I've built homes. I've built places where people get served food.
Yeah.
What's more valuable? How many people did I help versus you help?
Yeah.
And I just the moral judgment in society is out of control.
You got to do something. You can't just say stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, so
leaving a snarky liberal comment on somebody's post is not being an activist.
Yeah. Western North Carolina got up with all those hurricanes.
Everybody got up. I actually have that real quick too because I mean it hit close to home.
Well, what I was going to say is my people were down in North Carolina rebuilding this general store, right? They were, rather, from Save Our Allies, right? And somehow, I don't know how the you even got hooked up with them in the first place, but you had given them some money to help rebuild the store because that store serves the entire community. It's the only store anywhere near that place, right?
Well, when the
we built a new road, we tore it down and rebuilt it, right? But they served that entire area, and all those people were like, the only place they could get to was there because all the roads were fucked up. So we're in the middle of this. Somehow, I don't even know how you got involved in the first place, but somebody told me like, oh yeah, we got some money from some guy from First Form. What do you mean some guy from First Form? It's like you had given him money to help start rebuilding, and I hit you up and said, hey, thanks. I didn't know if you do that.
I didn't know that was yours either.
Yeah.
Actually, what happened was somebody was me on the internet over some controversial things that may have happened in the past, And they were like, if you really gave a you would be doing this. And I'm like, well, tell me about it. What are they doing? Tell me some more. And I started looking into it, and I'm like, oh, this is a great cause, bro.
Yeah.
And so I contacted them. You know, I gave them a little bit of money and you know, to try to get that general store back online so that people could get, you know, the things they need because they were shut off from everywhere else.
I mean, food.
And then it ended up being,
it
was your guys, right? Like your friends.
Yeah, it was my friends, and I was like, I just texted him to say thanks, and he paid for all the rest of it. Right? That's doing something.
Yeah.
Like either go there and get your hands in the mud, or if you can pay, do whatever you can, but just shut the fuck up.
That's it.
You can earn your right to say whatever you want.
Those same would be like that judge you on that will be like, well, that's easy for you to just pay. Yeah. What the do you want me to do, bro? Do you want me to reverse the hurricane? I can't do that.
$8 billion.
I mean, Trump did say we might want to shoot some nukes into those hurricanes. That was Trump 1, though. I don't know if he's changed his opinion on that since now. Probably not a good idea to send radioactive waste all over the place.
And have it spread all over by hurricane.
We'll see how it goes, I guess. We'll try it out one time. Try it in Haiti. They're already fucked down
but to that point, man, I think this is something that, I mean, in good news, right? Like, you know, you talked about just like it's kind of in us, right? And I think especially as Americans, it may be unique to us. But we want to help our fellow citizens.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, this is a really good point.
Yeah.
Because there's an algebraic equation on how functional society works, and on one side of it is liberty, on the other side of it is fucking effort, right? And if you want decentralization, it requires your daily attention, your personal daily attention.
Right.
Our collective attention, sure, but it always starts with you. If you want to live in a world that the government doesn't have control over your life, you better goddamn walk down the street and ask your neighbor how he's doing, because if you don't, the government will, and they're going to put him on welfare for the rest of his fucking life, and it's going to come out of your pocket forever. And if it goes on one more generation, now you're on generational welfare, and that shit lasts 6-8 generations.
Yeah.
Right? So one of the things I tell people a lot is, if the government shows up and nobody's got their hand out, they have no power there. And that is how fuck voting. Like, do it, obviously. You got to vote and participate in your country, but you're not going to vote your way out of any of this shit.
No.
Effort is the only way you get out of this.
Bro.
It's the only way.
It literally is what you and I always talk about. We say it in different ways, but, you know, it's personal excellence being the ultimate rebellion. Yeah. It's just, dude, it's not needing them for fucking anything. It's not listening to anything they say. It's examining the narratives they push out, educating yourself to what the truth is, and really, honestly, kind of understanding that they don't have our best interests in mind. Their interests are to get us hooked into a system that we can never escape.
Yeah.
And they've hooked enough people into it now where there's a real problem that has to be solved culturally. And you know, the way you solve it culturally is, you know what it is, honestly? It's shaming motherfuckers.
Shaming and letting them fail, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, you got to take the training wheels off the bike at some point.
Like, if you're a fucking loser, I'm going to call you a fucking loser, bro. Like, I'm sorry that hurts your feelings, but look at you.
Yeah.
You know, and what do you think? You're better than those people? Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
I do more. I fucking work harder. I fucking do everything I can. I take care of myself. These people do none of that. And then they want to be considered equal. That's not how the fucking world works, bro.
No, you can control two things in life: your effort and your attitude, and that's it, right?
Yeah.
And those things belong to you. Nobody can take that from you. Only you can give it away, right?
Yeah.
And we've seen an example just this past week, actually, of how effective this could be. So, egg prices, right? They went up because 250,000 egg-laying hens were murdered.
Million,
Million. Were just killed because there might be a fucking bird flu.
Nah, bro. That was to intentionally create the perception of prices going up under Trump.
Of course, sure. So what happened? We've seen the largest run of purchases on egg-laying hens to private people in the history of this country. And now, a week after everybody was just talking about how eggs are still expensive,
they're $3.50.
There's a 47% drop in egg prices in 1 week. Right? That's how quickly it can happen if you just pull off the government tit. They're not good at anything. What the fuck has the government ever been good at?
First of all, bro, hold on.
Stealing.
None of these people, like, look, dude, I'm not going to say none. There's a few, but they are the very small minority of people in government.
You're talking about Thomas Massey,
have
right?
actually produced some success outside of government for themselves.
Yeah.
Okay? Very few. The government wasn't designed to be run by people like that. It was designed to be run by the entrepreneurs, by the elders, by the experienced people. How much fucking experience can you have running a government if you never ran a business? When the government is parallel to a business.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's the difference. If you only have ever worked in government, then you've only ever worked without a budget, right?
Yeah,
and that is not how the fucking world works,
dude.
Man, if you've worked in a business, especially if you created your own business, you know exactly what a ledger looks like. You know exactly what the credit and debit section and the assets and liabilities section looks like. You know what a cap table looks like. And you know over the course of this many years, I got this much money to spend and I have these goals to hit. And if I don't, I'm fucked.
Well, bro, This is why I always tell my entrepreneur guys, I'm like, guys, you guys who are running 10, 20, $30 million businesses, you're much better operator than a CEO of a $15 billion company because they have unlimited budget to make decisions. No. If I had unlimited budget to just say, fucking go hire that guy, go do that, it would be easy, right? But we don't. And so when you're a small operator, not 30 million is not small, but you get what I'm saying. Yeah. Compared to 30 billion, it's small. You're actually a better fucking operator, most likely, than the person who's running a company that's, billions of dollars in revenue. Because, dude, you don't have unlimited budget. You have to be creative and you have to think of solutions and you have to be resourceful. And, those are the people, not the big fucking, multi-billionaires, the middle guys or the guys the government's supposed to be run by, So,
yeah. Well, yeah, man.
You want to talk about the Twisters?
Bro.
Yeah.
Dude, this past weekend was wild.
Oh, I heard, Brian was telling me you guys had some.
We got hit pretty good.
Yeah, right. As of right now, there's 42 confirmed deaths across about 5 states. There was a total of 56 confirmed tornadoes, bro. In the span of we're talking 4 hours.
we had one pass on each side of the house.
Yeah.
At my place.
Yeah.
We got lucky.
It was bad. Yeah, Missouri, Mississippi, Arkansas, Alabama, and North Carolina all reported deaths from tornadoes or severe storms. I mean, dude, the pictures and shit are they're insane. I mean, it was just anywhere you went, it was just mass destruction. I know here locally, Union felt some heat.
Arnold got hit.
Yeah. Villa Ridge.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about. That's on both sides. One's north, one's south of us.
Yeah. So I mean,
But dude, even where we are, you were at my house. It was fucking crazy, dude.
Wild.
We lost 4 or 5 pretty decent trees.
Yeah. Yeah, it was wild. But I mean, the good thing, like I said, coming off that conversation, Dan, it's the beautiful thing is, culturally, I think Americans are getting back to that mentality of it's up to us.
Well, I don't know if America ever lost that. I think that a lot of people have, right? But America's been the most generous. The American citizen is more generous than the vast majority of countries. You know what I mean? Which
it's unique to us for sure.
It is extremely unique. So I remember as far back as the tsunami in Indonesia. Remember that? You know who the number one non-state contributor was to that? Not NGOs, not an NGO, not any of that shit. It was the United States citizenry. Yeah. Spent more money helping to fix that situation than anybody other than the U.S. government did, right? Just in donations, which tells you something very clear. One, that this country is worth fighting for. The people are. Not the government, but the people certainly are. And the second thing it teaches you that you don't need to tax people for this. We will figure out a way to help these people.
That's right.
I don't need the government as a middleman. Tacking on 40% to all the charges.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
You're taking money out of my pocket under the guise of some kind of social empathy or something like that. And you just gave yourself 40% of it, and that's the tax to be a good person? I don't think so, bud. I don't think so. If you get between me and somebody I'm trying to help, I'm going to fucking run you over.
Yeah. Oh, and they're doing that. They're fucking doing that to justify the need for their NGOs. Yeah. It's, dude. What I heard from your friends and I had a couple friends out there too, in Asheville area. It was unbelievable the shit I was hearing, dude. Yeah. Unfucking believable.
A lot of it is incompetence.
Yeah.
Right. But incompetence and a lack of leadership. Right. So this is anybody that's ever worked in emergency management, and you would like to think that people at FEMA have at least some experience.
You would think,
right?
Yeah, you would think.
Would know a couple things. One, disaster happens, you're on the clock. People are without power. Within a couple of weeks, people start to die from sanitation-related issues, right? You're also on the clock with regard to infrastructure. So one of the first things that you have to address is ingress and egress, like how to get in and out of places. Roads get fucked up, bridges go down, blah, blah, blah. Army Corps engineers weren't there until fucking weeks later. They should be the first person on the ground in some of these instances, especially there in a place that isn't used to having these kind of things. Tornado Alley is what it is, right?
Yeah, right.
Trailers get knocked over.
We were outside.
We were,
I mean, it is.
We had one of my buddies here from Florida. He's from South Florida, and before that, he's from Canada. And he was like, "What the fuck's going on?" I'm like, "Bro, this is a tornado." He's like, "Well, what should we do?" I'm like, "Let's go outside."
Let's go outside.
And then it's the other part is the complete lack of leadership. Nobody's got the balls to say, "Hey, what you're doing is like," nobody in the middle management part is like, "Hey, you're fucked up. Here's how it's done." What needs to happen is all of FEMA needs to get put under the Department of Defense.
Yeah.
Because you have a very large workforce that's already on the clock. They're already getting paid. It doesn't cost you anymore to use them. All you got to do is move them places, and they're really good at it. They're the best in the world at it, as a matter of fact. It already exists. And one of the things, I wrote one of my master's thesis on this after Katrina, one of the lessons we learned was, why are you trying to recreate these distribution wheels? Why are you trying to do that? Walmart and Amazon exist. Fucking use them. Call them, get them on the phone. They've got all the water and diapers you need, buddy. I promise you. They'll never run out either. And they have trucks to get them there. All you have to do is say, "Hey, we need X," and they'll have them there.
Yeah.
Right. I had a week or two ago, one of the guys from Cajun Navy.
It's kind of weird they don't do that on their own, though, if we're being honest.
You would think. You mean Walmart?
Yeah, Walmart and
does.
Amazon should be doing that on their own, bro. Like companies my size, we fucking spend a significant amount of money, both me personally and our company, in situations like that almost every single time.
Yeah, the Walmart Foundation does, but not on their own. They give a lot of money, but they don't give. They help people. So they help Cajun Navy set up a distribution center that holds a lot of equipment, shit like that. But I don't think Amazon does anything. Now, Amazon's a useful tool. If you're in a local community and you have a disaster, make an Amazon wish list and just put it on the internet. People like us will share it, and you will get the stuff you need, I promise. And Amazon's quite a bit better at getting it there than the government typically is. But yeah, the DoD is already on staff. We have what if you include all the National Guards, we got like 2 million people on staff. Why are we going out and paying? Why do we have like an entire additional federal agency stood up that isn't even good at it?
What's the fucking excuse as to why they weren't there?
The military?
Yeah, if we got 2 million people to help these people, why were they not there?
That was so I can tell you the story if you'd like to hear it.
Well, how long is it?
Very brief.
Okay.
So the governor, we were going back and forth on the phone with the governor of North Carolina at the time. He's gone now, but he's a fucking idiot. He didn't know. He says he didn't know. I didn't know. What exactly am I supposed to do here? He was asking the NGO, what am I supposed to do here? It's like, declare a state of emergency, cede control to the DoD. That's it. Then they'll take care of it.
Oh, and he wouldn't do it?
No.
That's
because
right.
One female colonel in the North Carolina National Guard, I can't remember her name, but fuck her, right? People are dead because of her. And I hope there's an investigation into this at some point and she goes to prison for the rest of her life. But she was in his ear the whole time. I had people from below her and above her telling me this, like in the National Guard there. She was in this dude's ear like, no, don't give up control. We need to be the site commander. Why? You're the fucking commander of a fucking North Carolina National Guard unit. You've got the 82nd Airborne down the road, which I was in, by the way. We specialize in jumping into places and setting up a city. That's what we do. We jump in, seize an airfield, and set up medical, ammo supply, fucking security, comms, everything. We can jump in and within 3 days set up a fucking city, a functional city. That's like what we do. It's like what we're trained the 82nd Airborne specialties to do exactly that, right? Go in behind enemy lines and set up a fucking base. Now, how could that possibly be applicable to a city that's been wiped out? Of course it is.
It's the same thing.
Get the fuck out of my way.
Yeah.
Like this pride of authorship or whatever it is, like I've got to be the one that solves it. Man,
it's ego.
What the fuck?
It's fucking ego, bro. It's hubris, it's ego, it's self, glorifying bullshit. Yeah. And it ends up killing people.
Yeah, there's zero accountability when that happens. Yeah. I hope she does go to fucking prison.
I mean, there's going to be an investigation at some point. Yeah. But yeah, that's what happened. And it's unconscionable to think that we've got all these. We're the richest country in the history of the world. We can fix that problem.
Yeah.
Right. We've already fixed it. Actually, we're just trying to fix it in a new way that includes civilians and the federal government instead of. Like when you were growing up, what were the National Guard commercials? It was dudes stacking sandbags. Mm-hmm. That was the National Guard commercial. Like, hey, come here and help your community. That was the fucking whole commercial.
Yeah.
Now it's just like,
come here and wear a dress.
yeah.
And don't help that guy with the Trump campaign thing in his fucking yard. Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, FEMA was actually putting that out. I've seen some of those, and again, that came from middle management in FEMA, and government employees by and large are liberal for the most part, right? They believe what you want, but that's the reality. And they're like, yeah, if somebody's got a Trump sign on their property, they may attack you if you're wearing FEMA stuff. Like, yeah, somebody that hasn't eaten in 4 days is going to attack you when you come with a bag of McDonald's.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Fuck off, dude.
Yeah. It's stupid, man. It's stupid. Well, guys, let's do some cruising.
All right.
Got a lot of stuff to cover.
There's
out
a lot
here.
of weird shit going on.
It's a lot of weird shit going on. So let's get into it. Remember, if you want to see any of these pictures, articles, links, videos, go to andyfrisella.com. We can, you guys can find them all linked there, or just come join us on YouTube, and come watch all of these articles, links, videos. With that being said, let's get to our first set of headlines. Number one. Before we get deep into it, did you guys see Trump get smacked with the mic?
I did.
The hot mic?
No.
Yeah, so Trump was doing this, he was addressing the media at Joint Base Andrews in Maryland before going to leaving D.C. And he was taking some questions. He was in good spirits, and a giant fuzzy dong hit him right in the lip.
Look, it's happened to the best of us,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Usually in private, but
usually on the weekends.
yeah.
It's never happened to me.
That's not true.
Never happened to me, but let's check this out. So, I mean, it's interesting. Let's just watch here's the clip.
He got hit with a boom mic? Is that
boom
what
mic,
happened?
yeah.
Oh my
Nice
God.
big fuzzy black
Dude,
one.
you don't want to be that guy.
No, it wasn't a boom mic. It was a handheld. It got shoved in his face. You
Yeah.
see,
That's even worse.
Let's check this out.
it was intentional.
Mr. President, obviously you're concerned.
Look at that look.
You're
It's like,
concerned about
you're
the
fired.
situation in Gaza. What are the hopes now to get the hostages back?
He's trying not to smirk. I fucking
Just
love that
became
dude.
a big story tonight.
That's dude.
Bro, that's what you do one of these.
Bro. Look, I don't agree with everything Trump says or does, obviously, but dude, I really do like the guy.
Yeah, he's funny, man.
That's pretty funny.
He's a funny motherfucker.
I mean,
bro.
you can get butthurt about it, or you can start smiling. But
Did you see
hey,
it?
your
That was a
boss
big-
is gonna
that was
be
a
really
big
mad.
smile.
Yeah. Like, your boss is gonna be fucking pissed.
He's like,
She's gonna be a big story.
but he doesn't know it. But
He does that shit all the time. Remember the event at Mar-a-Lago where the camera's panning around and all of a sudden it meets his eye line and he's like, fucking looking at you, buddy.
Yeah.
He's just an old grandpa at this point.
Well, here's the thing.
well,
So,
dude, he's always had a lot of swag, bro.
Yeah.
Like his whole life. That's why he's Trump. You know.
for sure. Well, here's the thing. So, like, when this first happened, obviously, we don't really see who's behind the camera a lot of times, right? And I think most people, surface level would watch this and maybe not think, oh, yeah, I mean, it's just an accident, right? I mean, it has a long pole, the fucking mic was, sticking on and stuff, right? Well, and she's been identified, the lady who did this.
Is it that track runner that clubbed the girl with the baton?
Might
Might
as
girl. She just keeps showing up and fucking
It
people up.
might as well be her.
It might as well be her.
Oh boy.
Yeah, they've identified it. We got to go to Laura Loomer. She's been putting this out on Twitter here. She tweeted this out. She said, I have identified the reporter who hit President Donald Trump in the face with a boom mic this week while he was speaking to the press on the tarmac. Her name is Danielle Kurtlesben. She is the newly appointed White House reporter for NPR. All right. So this is Danielle's profile. Was Danielle's profile. She since went off of Twitter after
Tatanka.
Yeah, Tatanka.
Wait, is she a wrestler?
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Wasn't Tatanka a wrestler from the 80s?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but here's the question. Oh, I mean, you see where her location is? Your lawn.
Sure. Yeah.
Right.
Show up on my lawn.
She's like a little like she's kind of fiery, right?
Yeah.
But
Better wear
Kurtles.
level 4 plates if you show up on my lawn, honey.
Tatanka. Fucking white lady.
Yeah,
Tatanka's on your lawn, bro.
Do your rain dance out there. And
She
it'll
must
start-
be friends with fucking Elizabeth Warren.
She's 1/32,000th Tatanka.
Yeah. But no, but like I'm looking at all of the stuff coming out, dude. I think that shit was on purpose.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, look, people do stupid shit like
Well, I
that.
mean, just look at some of her past remarks about Trump. She wrote this article on NPR. The headline read, former President Trump faces criticism of using language reminiscent of Hitler, right? Saying that the language echoes language used by Adolf Hitler. and raises questions about authoritarianism rising in the United States.
Yeah, it's only those two guys that have ever said that word. I also heard, and I don't know if this is true or not, but I saw a picture of Hitler drinking a bottle of water, and then Trump
Trump drank
what I saw?
drinking a bottle of water as well. So
I saw Hitler petting a dog.
oh shit!
So that means
he was really into German shepherds.
that means we have to kill all the dogs because they're evil.
well,
Dogs are related to Hitler. I
Yes.
get it. Yeah.
yeah,
There's a spawn of Hitler.
it makes sense.
Yes.
If you think about it.
Dude, I think she did that shit on purpose, bro.
She probably did. Yeah.
It was
I think
probably
she
a
did.
fucking a germ attack. She probably like rubbed some of her germs on there and
Yeah.
like stuck it in
Oh,
Trump's
bro.
face.
Oh, fuck, bro.
Yeah.
That's how they get them.
Well, in
Yeah.
California, that's
That's how
not
they
even
get
that's
them.
not even a felony in California anymore.
Yeah, no shit.
You can give somebody
You
AIDS
just give
now.
somebody AIDS. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just wanted to throw that in there.
I mean, you know, Trump likes the lady. He's smelling pretty big after that.
Yeah.
Tatonka,
You
listen,
wonder where that thing
Tatonka,
was.
Me and Tatonka ain't talking. I ain't talking.
Oh, did she
to
block
Tatonka.
you?
Huh? No. I mean, bro, that's like, no, bro.
Bro, come on. Tatonka.
Bro.
Why do they always look like that?
Why do they
Why
always
do
look
they always
Why
look
do
like
they
that?
always look like that?
What do they look like, Dan?
Like that.
Oh,
you
my
could
God.
Land a fucking battleship on that forehead. Jesus Christ, man. And she's got no chin. It's weak genetics. Her
Bro.
hairline is receding and she's got no chin.
Bro,
That nose.
you're
man. You smell coffee in Brazil brewing. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
you know. So anyway, did anyone see that speech from that kid in Nepal? Oh my
man.
God, bro.
I just want to throw that in there. I don't know. I mean,
You know she's at some dinner party tonight telling her friends how I got him.
she
I
glowed.
smacked him in the
got him.
face. You know what?
Guaranteed.
Fuck Donald Trump. I smacked him in the face with my furry microphone.
Well, the good news is NPR won't exist soon. So
Yeah. Yeah.
she'll
Well,
be
that's
on-
probably why she hit him.
Well, she's probably going to be sleeping on somebody's lawn soon
Yeah.
instead of fucking hanging out there with a microphone.
She sure ain't gonna be sleeping with anybody with
No.
fucking that face.
Not a man.
Tatonka.
Yeah.
Oh man,
That's her secret finishing move, the Tatonka.
yeah.
He did a leg drop, right? Or was it I think it was a leg drop.
I don't
that
remember.
Tatanka did.
I
Are
don't
you guys
even know who
wrestling
that is.
fans?
That dude, that was our era.
Yeah.
That was like back in the 80s.
Is that the real wrestling?
Oh fuck,
wrestling.
dude.
No,
Dude,
I'm a fucking.
you know George the Animal Steel?
Nope.
Bro, he used to eat the turnbuckles, bro.
Yeah,
He'd eat them.
yeah, and then Foley and
Foley.
Terry
Foley.
Funk and those guys,
Yeah.
they were still hitting each other in the head with barbed wire and shit
Sting.
back then. Yeah.
Jim Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Oh, he's my cousin.
Oh yeah?
Well, he's
Oh,
married to my cousin.
shut the fuck up.
Yeah, swear to God.
Really?
Yeah.
He's awesome.
Yeah,
Jake
he
the
is.
Snake Roberts.
Yeah. I like the Attitude Era though. I like Stone Cold and D-Generation
NWA.
X and all that shit.
My favorite wrestlers of all time was the NWA. They had or NWO. They had Scott Steiner, Big Papa Pump.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Big Papa Pump was awesome.
Yeah.
Buff Bagwell.
Buff Bagwell.
You know, the shit's now fake for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's come on.
Well, I'm saying, but back then, like, bro, like they were probably like really fucking each other up.
Yeah,
you
there
know?
was this thing they used to do where they would take a little razor and cut right above the eyebrow line so you couldn't see it, and that's where the blood would come from. Like, that's commitment, I guess. I'm not
Yeah.
doing that.
No, I'm not doing
I'm not
that.
doing that.
Yeah, fuck.
that.
Bro, Andre the Giant. Andre the Giant used to drink 100 fucking beers at a sitting. You
Yeah.
know that?
I don't-
100 beers.
If I had to do something 100 times to get fucked up, I would switch to something else.
just go to crack, bro.
Yeah,
just go crack
start
cocaine.
smoking cocaine, freebase cocaine, dude.
Get some of that,
100 beers.
bro.
That's-
There's
too
a picture
much.
if you Google on the internet of him holding a beer.
holding a beer can.
Yeah,
Dude,
it looks
it-
like a child
Yes.
size.
It
beer,
looks like
yeah,
a
it's
fake
ridiculous.
kid's beer can.
yeah, like one of those fucking like the one Ryan has for a fucking kitchen set type thing. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what it
shelf
looks
shit.
like.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, let's keep this cruise moving, man. We got some interesting stuff on the horizon here. First thing is the Dems. I mean, they're falling apart. Left, I call them communists. We call them communists on the show. They're falling completely apart. Lowest approval rating.
29%.
I mean, I've actually seen it in some places where like those who approve of them are like 7%.
29% on CNN. So it's half of that.
It's half of that, yeah, statistically, yeah. But it doesn't stop them. Crockett on Schumer saying many Americans want younger, fresher leadership.
Oh, this is Jasmine Crockett?
Jasmine Crockett.
Have you seen the video of her before she became a congresswoman?
Yeah, she was
Yeah.
like a fucking Miss Proper.
Yeah, we call that code switching.
Code switching, yeah. What do you mean we?
Huh? Well, I mean, you said you grew up with us. Yeah.
You better watch your bike around Dan.
I'll fucking cut that chain real quick. You think those fucking U-locks are going to stop me? I don't think so.
Right. No chance.
No, I've got a DeWalt grinder.
Yeah.
Take that thing right down.
Yeah, I'm with it. But yeah, she's hopping in here. She said she made a statement saying, quote, I understand that the American people are frustrated. Please believe many of us did not sleep because we were calling and trying to impress upon the senators the importance of pushing back in this moment. As you saw, we had all but one Democrat in the House that voted for this. So that's 212 Democrats in the House, and then you had the vast majority of senators vote for it or vote against it as well. And so this idea that Chuck Schumer is the only one that's got a brain in the room and the only one that can think through all of the pros and cons is absolutely ridiculous. Now, here's the interesting thing, right? Do you guys remember, like, I think maybe a week ago, 2 weeks ago, where we realized that they were all saying the exact same thing?
Yeah.
There was like that montage that came out, right? It was very scripted. I think they were trying to do that. They sat down in the chair holding the little fucking microphone thing. Mm-hmm. They have a new script that just got released. Have you seen it yet?
No, but before we get into that, imagine believing that Chuck Schumer has a brain.
Or
and that's your
Jasmine
leader.
Crockett, to be fair. I mean, this whole thing is fake, right?
Yeah.
This CR is the continuation of Biden's budget from 2024. That's all it is. The one that they voted for. So they're against the thing they just voted for.
Yeah.
Because Republicans are for it.
A couple of months ago, right?
That is
right.
Yeah, well.
Just to be clear. I just want to put
shows
that out
you
there.
they're not yeah.
Yeah. Well, they have a new script now. And we got just this quick montage here. But yeah, it just dropped. Let's check this out.
The strength that we have is in this moment.
Listen to your constituents. Center them in this moment.
But I can tell you that there are a lot of people that are watching his leadership in this moment. This is the moment.
No, I think about what's happening, in this moment.
What's important is that we meet this moment.
So are these current Democrats the ones to meet the moment?
What do you want to see us doing right now in this moment?
And which Democrats are actually going to stand up against Elon Musk and Donald Trump in this moment?
The fight that you all are exhibiting is not just what the base wants, but it's what this moment requires.
What are you guys doing in this moment?
Oh, man, that's embarrassing.
Well, I'm thinking about how fucking stupid these people are. how stupid you got to be to not understand that everything you say is on camera and recorded, and there's people out there that are looking for this 24 hours a day.
How can you not understand that everything you say and do is going to be on camera and people like what the fuck?
Well, you could tell they learned the lesson from the last time.
Yeah, they try to change it up.
They're trying to like have a little ad lib going on there.
Yeah. Well, here's the other issue with this. Chris Murphy and Center, right, and then Tim Walz, they're establishment people, and then you have AOC Presley and Jasmine Crockett at the top. They're supposed to be part of the young progressive wing that's we're not part of the establishment anymore.
We're the squad.
Well, clearly you are, because
we'll use our talking points,
right?
Yeah,
like don't try to especially AOC. She's such a fucking fraud. Everything she says and does is a fucking fraud. Anytime, so she came into Congress as the most radical person, and every time she votes with the Democratic Party, no matter what, right? No matter what kind of stupid bullshit it is, she always does.
No, when they said radical, they meant like the fake arrest that she tried to do, or like when she got went down to the border to see the kids and nobody was really there.
Oh, she just really doesn't like chain link fences. Yeah, that's what that was.
Really, really
so
radical.
It made her cry.
Really radical, yeah. But so you got that going on. New script coming in. Well, I'm sure this montage will probably.
Oh, there'll be another one next week.
Yeah, they also
it's like 3 weeks in a row now,
100%.
Bro. They also love to like try to present everything as like an historic event that they're a part of. Like,
it's history.
You want to be on the right side of history
in this moment.
It's like, dude, shut the fuck up.
It's just histrionics, right? Like if you can't get somebody, if you don't have a compelling argument to make, you just make it sound like it's the end of the world.
Yeah,
that's what they do. And
or you attack the character of the person that's saying it.
Yeah, I just want to reiterate this again. This thing that they're talking about, the CR that they hate, is their budget from last year. It's literally the one that they fucking put into place and that Biden signed. There's no difference.
Yeah. Fucking ass hats.
Yeah.
That's a good word for the day.
I love how they all try to make Hakeem Jeffries like he's out to be the fucking next Obama.
Yeah.
And like that's a good thing.
He's a straight communist.
Like that's a good thing. Like people fucking hate Obama.
Yeah.
Timu Obama, I think is what people are saying now.
Yeah, Timu Obama. Yeah.
Timu Obama.
Timu.
Yeah. But yeah, you got that going on. And other news going on right now. Did you guys see that the French, they're now demanding that we return the Statue of Liberty?
Well, they're welcome to come try and take it.
That's what I'm on board. Come and get it.
I'd love to see that.
Come and get it. What I mean, how do you remove it? Like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I don't know. You guys got enough shit to worry about.
Well, I mean, I think so. They're saying
your president's married to a dude, bro.
Yeah,
like you're worried about the wrong statue.
Yeah. They're saying we should return it, or not. It's not the French government. It's one.
It's one lawmaker.
He wants us to return it. I mean, and after this is the really insulting part is after we had the common decency to chisel the arm hair off of it before we actually put it up in New York, right? If you look at the one that's actually in France still, it's gross.
Yeah.
You know, these people are out of their minds. Like Europe is, I don't really know what the average European citizen thinks. I would love to hear from some of them. Like, are you okay with your country being invaded? Like, do you know about the Barbary pirates and the Ottoman Empire? That this is just like 100 years ago.
Yeah, not that far.
It was just 100 years ago, man, that this stuff got shut down. Do you really not remember that? Like, have you read a history book? It's always a problem that people who have no concept of history are in charge of people's futures, right?
These people have been eased into globalism thinking to where now it's groupthink throughout the Western Europe region.
But there's no way that the average, like, Italian middle-aged citizen or Spanish or whatever else, especially Spanish, because they've had to kick out the Ottomans a couple of times, are okay with this horde of lunatics being pushed into their country. There's no way they're okay with that.
I know quite a few people that live in Europe, and the ones I've talked to, they believe, which is incredible, that Trump is the problem. And what I think is weird is these people have been indoctrinated and inched into thinking that globalism and a communism and no national identity is freedom. Mm-hmm. And so that's like, dude, these fucking people, even here, like the leftists have been so brainwashed that they think they're the freedom fighters. Yeah. Like they think they're the patriots.
Well, that's what the whole EU was even established for. Like that was a massive
Yeah, so when they look at like what Trump's doing, they don't see it as, moving closer to freedom. They see it as moving closer to the direction that they're already in.
Yeah.
Which is, it's like, guys, have you ever stopped and actually tried to understand or look at anything other than what the media has been telling you?
No.
Yeah, do you remember that little speech from Newsroom, Jeff Daniels, where he's like, the college girl's like, why is America the best country in the world? Which is a dipshit.
And he's like, it's not.
Yeah, it is, actually. He's like, Canada has freedom. France has freedom. Like, no, they don't, actually.
Yeah.
They don't.
Yeah.
Can you say whatever you want without legal repercussions? Then you don't have freedom, fuckface.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's been the trope over the last 15, 20 years or so, that Europe is somehow on par with the United States and that we share something. Like, no, we don't share anything with you. We are the continuation of English civilization. That's what America is. We're the ones that got it right. We took everything good about England and we kicked out all the bullshit and we made a country out of it, right?
Yeah, it was 200 years ago.
We took the most functional civilization in the history of human beings. And when I say functional, I mean economic power, military power, and the way that the English common law had developed over the years. And we brought it here and we gave it to Jefferson and Thomas Paine and John Stuart Mill and people like this. And they refined it into what is the best country that's ever existed and probably will ever exist on this fucking planet. And comparing the United States to Europe or Canada or any of this stuff, get fucked, dude.
I agree with
these
that.
people are begging to be governed by somebody. Always. And what they don't understand is the history of Europe is the history of totalitarianism. It always happens in one form or another. And right now they're building they're building the infrastructure from some lunatic like Hitler to come in and take control. Let's build one government for everybody. Okay, cool. So now one guy can come in and fucking just take over
That's
the whole
their whole
continent?
fucking plan.
Are you out of your goddamn mind? Do you not see the problem with that?
Bro,
no, but they don't. They don't see the problem.
That is their plan. Their plan is to get everybody to buy into this globalist shit, okay? And to create a situation where they could come in and remove Western whites from the equation through a genocide. That's what they're working to do. And they're repopulating their countries with these people from all over the place because in their mind, these people are easy to control and rule. And bro, it's a dangerous situation.
It is dangerous. I mean, especially because globally, white people are actually minorities globally. You know, I mean, it's like 8%. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's a dangerous.
Well, you know, in America
thing.
right now, do you know what percentage of the population in the United States are natural born citizens and what are not? 16% of Americans or people that are living in America right now are not natural born citizens. 16%. It's the highest ever in this country's history right now in 2025. Not during the
You're saying 16% are not natural born
Correct.
citizens.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the highest it's ever been in this country. It's higher than it was.
I mean, that makes sense because you just brought in 17 million people.
It's higher than it was in the 1890s. Like from the 1890s through the 1920s, the Ellis Islands, right? So it was 1890s, and again, I think in 1913 to 15 was the second round, I believe.
Yep.
That even during that period, we're higher now than they were ever back then.
Yeah.
As a percentage, not total, right? As a percentage.
Yeah.
And we're way bigger. We're like, what, 4 or 5 times larger population-wise than we were back then? We have millions and millions of people in this country. I mean, we're talking that, what's 16% of 330 million?
Too
many. That's like 55 million people, something like that.
It's crazy, bro.
Dude,
what the you can do some damage with 55 million people, and you don't deserve to be here. Nobody does, right? You are our guest until you go through the process to
they don't
naturalize.
fucking think that.
Well, I
No,
don't
they
give a what they think. Here,
I get that.
The price for admission is assimilation. You come here to become an American. If you're not planning on doing that, get your ass.
Yeah,
the
don't
fuck
bring
out
your
of
culture
I
here.
don't- I don't give a shit about your culture.
Yeah,
Couldn't care
otherwise I'd move there.
less. Yeah. I mean, if your culture's so good, then go back to it.
That's
Why
right.
not? You know what I mean? Like
Dude, I'm with you. That Jeff Daniels thing, though, he say, isn't his whole rebuttal about like statistically proving how he says America's not the greatest?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
He goes, we're 29th in math. We're this and that. We're this and this and this and this and this and this.
Yeah, we're 29th in math because of the Department of Education.
Yeah,
we were third in math the year before the
79.
Department of Education.
Yeah.
Third.
78 or whatever.
In history. And look, we're not going to beat the Chinese. Come on. It's just not going to happen, dude.
Well, I mean, other things you got, that are going on here, because this is also interesting. Last little piece on this French thing.
Hold on. I agree on the assimilation shit too, by the way. Like 1,000%. Like the last thing I want to do is be walking down the street and seeing 4,000 different people doing 4,000. Like, dude, I saw this video. I don't even want to get into it.
But yeah, and then Macron just came out today calling on the EU to ditch American weapons as Europe's boycott United States movement grows. So now, like, they're all trying to gang up against us, which I think was part of the plan to begin with.
That's why the EU was created in the first place.
Well, that's what I was saying.
It was created to be
an
an economic counterpart to the United States.
To the US.
But for what reason?
They're not even close.
Yeah, you guys don't make. There are no energy reserves on the continent of Europe except for Russia and Ukraine. Right. I mean, there's small bits here and there.
For not having much, they for sure make a lot of demands.
Yeah.
Bro, I say conquer them all. Like, I'm just saying, conquer them all, bro. I'll go to. Yeah, I'd love to see there. We fly there on the same U.S. passport. Let's roll. But another little last news. I want to wrap this first set up though. But this just came out today as well. I'm not sure if you guys saw this because we also alluded to some accountability earlier. Andy, this might change how you're feeling. I don't know. The headline reads: Trump says Biden's auto pen pardons are void, vacant, and of no further force or effect. Vows probe of J6 House Select Committee. So this just came out. This just came out early this morning before the show was recorded. Trump had truth. He put a truth out about this topic. He says, quote, "The pardons that Sleepy Joe Biden gave to the unselect committee of political thugs and many others are hereby declared void, vacant, and of no further force or effect because of the fact they were done by autopin," Trump posted on Truth Social early Monday morning. Now, there's been a lot of stuff that's come out about this too, about the autopin. I know we've covered it when it first got dropped that this was autopin, and I said, I mean, okay, like I get it, right? Like there's plenty of things that go on in business or obviously the country where, yeah, autopin is still there, no big deal. But I feel like there's certain things that that should require like the actual president actually signing it, and I feel like pardons should be definitely one of those things. Trade agreements, war, like. You can't auto pin that shit. You shouldn't be able to, at least. But it's interesting because now we might have a name to who's been doing this, and this is the interesting part. We talk about the cabal, deep state, whatever you want to call it, running, making the calls behind the play, and apparently there is an aide that was literally hitting the button on all of this shit. And we have a name. So let's dive into this. Is this the key aide behind Biden auto-pin pardons? Biden White House staff secretary lashes out at Trump for declaring Biden's auto-pin pardons void. Her name is Neera Tandine. Neera Tandine. She tweeted this out. She says, quote, "More importantly, does this mean everything with the Trump auto-pin signature is void in this administration and the last? Because there's a lot by auto-pin in every administration. Some enterprising lawyers may want to sue." To which the Oversight Project, which is who released this, a couple of weeks ago, they replied directly to her, saying, "You were White House staff secretary when Biden auto-pin pardons from the golf course in USVI. Is this you?" And then they, submitted the proof. I mean, here's an auto pin that was done. This was done on December 30th of 2022. And this was, put out as a press release and all of that good stuff. But, the president's schedule's kept meticulously. We know where they go, how long they're there, and all of that good stuff. And yet Biden was in the Virgin Islands. This was also around the time he went, and then that attorney general who was looking into that bank for the Epstein shit was also fired. Same exact trip. Kind of interesting. But yeah, that was put in then too. So, I mean, if who all, it wasn't just the J6 select committee. They got the preemptive pardons.
Fauci.
There's a lot of people.
The attorney general, Merrick Garland got one. Hunter Biden got one that was from 2013 until present.
James Biden. I mean, it was a lot
his
of.
brother got one. Yeah. And
they were all auto-pinned. So if none of them are in effect, that means, again, I mean, I don't know what the purpose of the pardons to begin with if they did nothing wrong, but I mean, if they're shit in the pants, I think that, kind of shows something. Now, what they're going to do about it, I don't know.
I mean, this isn't legal, frankly.
Which piece?
Trump, whatever Trump said.
Trying to say no.
All he did was tweet something.
Yeah.
To be honest, because Article 2, Section 2 of the Constitution is very clear that the president has, completely unmolested access to that. Only the president can do that. Mm-hmm. Nobody can stop him, frankly, right? I mean, that's just the way it is.
To do the pardons?
Yeah.
Right, but the question is
whether he did it or not. But just play it out in your head, legally speaking. Mm-hmm. They call Biden into the room with the White House counsel and ask him, "Hey, did you sign this pardon or did you approve this pardon?" All he's got to do is say yes, and it's over right then. Right, and he will. Like you're not going to get some cognitive test. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that he's right. And I think it's very clear to everybody that Biden was never conscious during any part of his presidency. I don't buy the sometime in 2022. No, the whole time he was.
Why he was run?
Yeah, the whole time.
That's why he put him up. Like, man, he was run to create the illusion of incompetency so that they could get away with the shit that they did.
Yeah.
If you had a guy in there who was competent and said, "We're going to let the border open in 17," bro, there'd be a revolt.
Yeah.
All right. So everybody in America was manipulated into thinking that Biden was this poor, feeble, fragile, senile old man, which he was. All the while, they did all of these damaging things to the country intentionally to bring it down. All right. So
elder abuse is what it was.
Yeah. No, bro. It was straight up manipulation and lies. And they did it so that they could get closer into a globalist society.
Yeah. Well, there's two major cases on this: States versus Klein from 1872, and then Ex parte Garland in 1866. And both courts affirmed that once a pardon is issued, it's issued, unless you can prove fraud, which is what they may try to do. But I just don't see how you do it.
Yeah.
Like how do you prove?
Well,
I mean, it's easy to prove
AG
that
is trying.
Yeah, dude. How do you say that the auto pen for that doesn't work when it's accepted in other
areas?
places?
Right.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
I think that's what.
I think we all know what the happened.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
I agree.
It's a
Proving is a
difficult
whole
case to
different
make.
thing.
It's an impossible case to make, to be honest, because unless somebody like even if everybody and that worked for Biden testified that he was mentally out of it, right? You can't prove that he was on that specific moment, right? And that's what matters. So I don't see that going anywhere, to be honest. I think this is just a publicity stunt.
I think a lot of things he says are for that. A lot of things he says are for getting everybody riled up about how great of a thing he's doing, and then most of it doesn't happen.
Yeah, the smarter move would be to subpoena these people. Subpoena Fauci and start asking him questions, because he can't be charged with anything that he did while in government because of this pardon. But every time he lies under oath, he can be charged with contempt of Congress, which you can, it's 3 years and $30,000 fine. You just keep doing that over and over. Keep him in there a couple of days until he racks up 100 years and then throw his ass in prison for the rest of his life.
I mean, that's how they do it.
And he can't use the Fifth Amendment.
Yeah.
Right. Once
they do it indirectly, bro. You've seen these.
No. They can't. He can't do it.
They do things like I don't recall.
Well, then that would be a crime as well, right? That would be a crime of omission. It's still a crime. So once you receive a pardon, the Fifth Amendment no longer applies because you can't be.
Is that a crime of omission if you don't recall?
Yeah. If you could be proved that he does recall, if I could show him evidence, like, hey, here's your fucking signature on something. You don't recall signing this? I don't recall. Like, well, here it is. Here's the evidence. Did you do it or not? Well, yes, I did. All right, there, good. Now you've said it. Force these people to say this shit that they did out loud.
Dude, listen, real talk. I don't agree with any of that shit. I think the country needs a total fucking dictator that is fucking morally aligned, that's going to come in and clean the fucking shit up and set it back where it was. I hope Trump does do this, and I hope he breaks the law to do it and puts these motherfuckers in the wood chipper.
Maybe
he has immunity. Shit, do it.
I don't even think Trump's the guy to be that guy.
No. Well, he maybe not, but Biden just set a precedent. Nobody's ever given a preemptive pardon before.
Yeah.
And Trump is well within his rights to, on his last day in office, to give himself a lifetime preemptive pardon for anything he might ever do.
Yeah.
Right. And if they try to charge him with something, then the Republicans can always go back and charge these other guys. But I agree. I think history is pretty clear that a benevolent dictator is better than any other type of government.
That's what I'm saying.
But the problem is succession, right? Like who?
No.
For every Augustus Caesar, you get a Tiberius who literally raped little babies, right?
Yeah.
And you get a Nero and a Caligula. You get 3 of those for every one good one you get.
But what we need is a Sulla.
A Sulla? Why?
Yeah,
why
because you need someone to restore what this country is supposed to be, and that's what the fuck that guy did.
Yeah.
And then it was you set the country up for another 100 years it could get corrupt again. But in my opinion, we do need a benevolent dictator who would come in, wipe the slate clean, punish people that need to be punished, reset the country to where it should be, what the values it's supposed to have, and then let it go from there. And then that person should step down and let the process work itself.
So somewhere between Sulla and Cincinnatus then.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting to think about. I don't know why people are so offended by the idea of an oligarchy. One, like we don't have one and haven't always had one, even in this so-called democracy, right? We've always had it. But, do the thought experiment yourself. Should most people be involved in running the government?
No.
Like,
and not only that, most people, like real talk, we would fix a lot of problems by just making the voting system more exclusive, to where if you have a tax return that you paid into the system, you are awarded a vote. If you do not have a tax return, you are not allowed to vote. Because, dude, part of the problem here is we have a bunch of motherfuckers that don't do shit voting for more free shit from the people who are out there working.
Can I run a thought experiment by you?
Yeah.
Okay, let's say you have an impoverished class of some sort. It doesn't have to be on racial lines or anything, just the impoverished. It doesn't matter. Any of their other demographics, throw them out the window. It's just poor people, right?
That's all you got.
Right.
Okay.
So no. I'm just saying, just focus on this one group.
Okay.
So what's to stop the class that has had success in the past from dominating them into perpetuity?
Well, apparently we already do that.
Well,
I mean,
we
what's the
do.
difference?
No.
We do, but it's like,
What's to stop the impoverished class from stealing from the class that works when they are given equal rights to the people who, as the people
sure.
who
I
work?
mean, it could go both ways, but I'm talking.
But that's
about,
what's happening now.
But I'm talking about your idea. That's called a dictatorship of the minority, I believe, is what you're referring to.
Or
yeah.
you know,
America.
Yeah, I mean that's where they're pushing towards because,
but they don't have any real power, right? They're just being led along. They're being.
I mean, do you go to jail if you don't pay your tax?
Well, you should.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, not should. I hate taxes are bullshit, but like in
I
our
mean, like
government,
you're
in our
supposed to.
system, of
According to
government,
the law.
according to the law, yeah.
Right.
But here, the issue is this: the people who are currently functioning well, right? And our goal should be to make sure everybody's functioning well.
Totally agree.
The Northern European countries handle this quite a bit better than we do. So you mentioned before about putting limits on social welfare and shit like that. They don't have it, but what they do have is the government fucking just straight up tells you your job doesn't exist anymore. You got to go fucking learn to do something else. And we'll help you, but you're going to learn or you're getting the fuck out.
Yeah.
Right? We're not going to help you forever. Now, I don't think the government should be involved in that. I'm kind of curious where all the church tax-free money's going to deal with these social issues, to be honest. But so back to the other part. What is to stop the, let's call them the ruling class, and I don't mean that as a pejorative. I mean, literally, that's what they would be. If they're the only ones with the vote, then they're the ruling class is how it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And every civilization, including ours, has had one.
Mm-hmm.
Don't pretend like we haven't, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what's to stop them?
But that means you're part of the ruling class.
I am, yeah. So
Right.
but what's to stop us, I guess, if we want to code it that way, from disenfranchising them forever? We could vote if that's how
Hold
it
on.
works.
They have the freedom to remove themselves from that class by getting a job and paying taxes.
Sure, but what if I do something like
Shouldn't
this?
a vote be valuable enough to where you don't just vote for the fucking person that the media tells you?
Yeah, I mean there should be consequences.
Do you think that our vote is that valuable now
No,
for people?
no,
Right.
I think our vote's bullshit. But that's not the point I'm making. The point I'm making is, let's say
I understand what you're
let's
saying.
say the ruling class decides we're going to require work permits for everything, and now we're running a lottery because we don't want all these people to be involved in our work anymore, right? So now we're issuing people work permits. We're deciding who gets to succeed and who doesn't. Now we're just the government again. You know what I mean?
I do. But I also believe that we should allow those people to go get jobs. I mean, I see it as intrinsic motivation to have a say in what's going on.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like Starship Troopers, right?
And I think there would be
right. You serve the army, you become a citizen, you get voting rights.
Yeah.
And
No,
I don't
think we should do it with the army.
No.
I don't want
But
people,
that concept, there should be some value created. My point is this. I understand your point. But my point, and by the way, in real life, that's what always happens, what you're saying.
Yeah.
But
that's why I say it.
I understand.
That's where it invariably
because, dude,
goes.
once power, what is it?
Absolute power.
Absolute power corrupts absolutely. And that's just human nature.
Yeah.
But we are in such a situation now to where there are so many people that don't contribute, that have a say, that they're actually voting us into a socialist / communist situation.
It'll be Atlas Shrugged.
That's right. To where the producers are going to say, fuck it, which then what ends up happening is the government runs everything.
Yeah, but it's already happened, right? Because the producers outsourced. They went to India and China and wherever else for this.
I don't think in the sense of this, we're like, I mean,
no,
we're at like
hold on. I know what he's
49%.
saying. Agree. There should be some changes to the international trade so that doesn't happen like it has. And I think Trump is doing that.
Yeah.
But what people don't understand and what they have a hard time grasping, honestly, because most people have never run a business, is that there's going to be a time between when the tariffs go in and the taxes come down to where it's a difficult economic time.
It'll be a recession. Yeah.
That's correct. There's going to be a difficult time before the better time, and that's the problem with
But
this.
that happens in every business too. Like you launch a new product and then you buy.
Bro, you make cuts. You cut out 40% of your workers because there's it takes a year to get recalibrated to run on a lesser team.
Yeah. The problem with government is and there's always this duality. No matter what the system of government happens to be, there's going to be authoritarianism to some degree. Like if you don't think that America is,
but there should be.
To some degree, right?
Yeah.
There has to be. Like people need leadership, right?
Yeah.
So you have to choose between, and this is where it gets super fucked up, because some of it is just principled philosophy, and then some of it is practical. But principled philosophy isn't always practical in execution. It's a problem, right? So you either have, like, it's more difficult to corrupt a group of people than it is to corrupt one man, for sure, right?
Yep.
It takes more time and effort, but it's also more difficult to defeat a group of people than it is to defeat one man. And we believe in decentralization here, federalism. We believe in the 9th and 10th Amendments, which means if it's not specifically written in this Constitution, the federal government doesn't even have a right to opine on it. It's none of your fucking business what I'm doing if it's not written in that document that we all made.
Yeah.
So, when I go back to it,
I'm talking about how to correct it.
Yeah. I mean, I think
I agree with dude. I think the Constitution is a perfect document, legitimately, and I think it is literal. I think when they say, we have the right to bear arms, the whole argument there isn't for automatic weapons, bro. It's for everything they fucking have, so that we can counter. That's right,
well regulated.
So I mean,
but dude, what I'm saying is there has to be a correction period to get us back to that, because if you try to do this through the corrupt system, it could, at best, it's going to take decades. At worst, it'll never happen because of the bureaucracy that's infected our system.
The tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants. It is a naturally occurring manure.
I think we are close.
Yeah, that's what Jefferson said. So, yeah, I mean, that's probably part of it, to be honest. And when I think of it, like, in terms of recourse, because that's what, when I want to be really clear about this, people get, this is one of the most misunderstood things in all of American history. The founders of this country, the Continental Congress, they weren't writing to England about becoming a free nation. They were writing for redress. They were writing taxation without representation. That's where the phrase came from, right? They were saying, hey, we're citizens of the British Crown. We expect to be treated as such. And we're not. So fuck you. We're going to leave. That's what really happened.
Right.
They didn't say no kings.
Yeah.
That wasn't part of it. They didn't, like, the founders, when John Adams, the Boston Massacre happens, right? These troops, spurred on by the Sons of Liberty, trying to rabble-rouse because they hated the British, they shot some people, somebody died, the whole group went to trial. John Adams, our second president, defended them in court and got them exonerated in court, in American court. And he referred to himself as a British citizen in the documents that he wrote back to them, because that's what he was and that's how he saw himself. And then the Crown decided to bring all tribunals back to London, right? Even though they had adjudicated it fairly, they still brought him back, and that was the final straw for him. It was like, well, fuck you. Now we're American.
They did that so that because the colonies were so small, if the American court would have convicted those dudes, their families would have been killed.
Yeah, but no, they were exonerated, though,
right,
in the American courts. John Adams proved that the United States could function on its own. I think that was a threat to them, which is why they tried to bring it back. But this whole process, like, if you read the preamble to the Constitution, it's like when a government, like, the government has a job, and when it becomes, I can't remember the exact phrase, but when it stops functioning in that way, then it's not just the right, but the duty of people to throw that government off and start over.
It's a duty.
Yeah. So it's like, when I think of it like that, people think in America that we're just against kings. And as a soldier, I would feel a lot better fighting for a king that fought alongside me, like King Abdullah in Jordan, than I would any of these fucking gay lords in Congress.
Dude,
you know what I mean?
Dude, I mean, that's another rule. Like, fucking bro, if you fucking vote for a war, you better go the fuck over there.
Well, so Jared's got a theory on that. He says that if you're in Congress, either house or the president, and you vote for, sign a war, or deploy people, you have to send 2 of your family members.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah. We have completely different geopolitical situation.
Yeah.
Be no wars.
Yeah. You shouldn't be deploying people.
Well, I think we can both agree on this.
Yeah. I mean,
fuck tyrants.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like tyrants are the problem. It's not the system of government specifically. Obviously, capitalism works better than any other system of government.
Our government, dude, listen, here, people like, this already. So we talk about this all the time. It's not that our system is broken. It's that the way they're running it doesn't reflect the system that was set up at all. And we're told it does. We're told we have freedom. We do not have fucking freedom. We are paraded around as a free country when in reality we're one of the most financially oppressed countries in the world by our own government. unless you don't have a job and you get all your shit for free, right? So, I mean, dude, the Constitution and everything, the way these guys set it up is perfect, legitimately perfect. And to be completely honest, I'm in awe of how smart they were in terms of anticipating the challenges that we would have. And what they didn't account for was technology and the internet and all of these things to subvert what the foundational rules were to mean. And so, bro, I believe in I do. I believe in the Constitution, like
literally.
Yes, literally. But we're so far off from that is the problem.
Yeah, I mean, we've got to course correct somehow.
Yeah.
And I think, we also have to end some of these delusions that we have. One, that we're a democracy. We're not, right? There's only been one direct democracy in the history of the world, and it was in Greece, in Athens, and they shut it off after 2 years because it was fucking nuts.
Well, yeah, bro. Look.
The people that invented democracy said, no, we can't do that.
But people don't understand why that is. Look, if you've ever led anybody in your life in any situation, you understand the need for leadership. Because if there is none and there isn't someone who can lead and say, do this, we have to do this, these people will all stand there and argue about whose idea is right and who's the best. And could I get credit for this? And I said this, and I think we should do it this way. You know what ends up happening? Fucking nothing. Okay? So anybody that's ever run a company understands that. Anybody who's ever been a leader in the military understands that. Dude, if there's no leader, dude, the guys get fucking killed.
Yeah.
Okay? And dude, so we have to understand that some people need to have say that is more powerful than a group think. You know what I mean? And people don't like that. When they hear that, they think, well, fucking Hitler. That's where they automatically go. And it's like, dude, some of the most prosperous countries in the history of the world were led by one person, right? And I don't know, bro. Like, I don't know the solution, but to get people to understand that we need a leader, like a legit leader that's going to say this, that, this, is very hard because everybody wants to have a say. And you know who wants to have the most say? The motherfuckers that don't pay in.
People doing the fucking least, man.
Yeah.
That's real, man. Guys, jump in on this conversation. Let us know what you guys think. With that being said, let's keep this cruise moving. We'll go right into headline 2. This is an interesting one. So, Trump deported 238 Venezuelan gang members to El Salvador. Yeah. Now, this was picked up some heat. So he flew to a plane full of these guys. He flew them over to El Salvador. We have a great relationship with the president of El Salvador, Nayib Bukele. He tweeted this out. He says, today, the first 238 members of the Venezuelan criminal organization Tren de Aragua arrived in our country. They were immediately transferred to CSAT, which is the Terrorism Confinement Center, for a period of 1 year, which is renewable, he says in parentheses. The United States will pay a very low fee for them, but a high one for us. Over time, these actions, combined with the production already being generated by more than 40,000 inmates engaged in various workshops and labor under the Zero Idleness Program, will help make our prison system self-sustainable. As of today, it costs $200 million per year. On this occasion, the U.S. has also sent us 23 MS-13 members wanted by Salvadorian justice, including 2 ringleaders. One of them is a member of the criminal organization's highest structure. This will help us finalize intelligence gathering and go after the last remnants of MS-13, including its former and new members, money, weapons, drugs, hideouts, collaborators, and sponsors. He finishes off saying, may God bless El Salvador. May God bless the United States of America. Now, there's a little video. It's 3 minutes long. We'll play just a little bit here for you. But the video is fucking awesome. This is them as they were getting taken off of the airplane and being transferred to CSAT. Check this out. Hey, bro, that don't look fun. I mean, they're just dragging them in the back of these fucking. Listen, I'm cool with it.
What do you mean cool with it?
I'm fucking cool
There
with it.
There has to be fear of repercussions for people to not do bad shit.
Bro, even the biggest, baddest fucking, who you would think would be the biggest, bro, they
cry.
Crumble.
Yeah.
Crumble. Now, they crumble. Now, but here's the thing on this. So, the plane gets there, landed, and apparently a federal judge, who's an Obama-appointed judge, he orders the deportation flights carrying the alleged Venezuelan gangbangers to return to the United States, and he blocks Trump from invoking the Alien Enemies Act, which is what Trump used to get them over there. But Nayib, being a great troll that he is, tweeted this out in response, saying, "Oopsie, too late." They're already there. We ain't bringing them back, bro. They're there.
That's the president?
That's the president of fucking El Salvador, bro.
That's funny, dude.
The president of El Salvador put that out. Oopsie, too late.
Yeah, to be fair, just a couple things here. One, Trump doesn't need to use the Alien Act of 1798 for this. There's USC 1227 and USC 1182. Both are very clear. One says that if you're here and you're not a citizen, that is including green card holders, right? But visa holders and green card holders, and it definitely applies to illegals, that if you support, endorse, even immaterially, which means you don't have to give them money or anything, all you have to say is like, I like Hamas. Gone. See ya. It's pretty clear. I mean, it says it right there in black and white. A federal judge has no jurisdiction to look into law that's been passed. And by the way, Jordan versus DeGeorge, 1951. Kleinitz versus Mandel, 1972. INS versus St. Cyr, 2001. Leopold versus Ashcroft, 2004. Sessions versus DeMea, 2018. And Trump versus Hawaii, 2018. These two statutes, 1227 and 1182 USC, have been tried and retried in the Supreme Court for 100 years. Fuck you. Like they absolutely should ignore everything any of these judges say.
Any of them.
You don't have jurisdiction to tell the president how to execute on the book laws in the executive branch. I'm sorry, this is not how our government works.
Well, Tom Homan would agree with you because he calls out the radical judge for defying logic with ruling to stall Trump deportation. He said, quote, "Who in their right mind, whether you're a judge or not, wants to allow TDA, that's Tren de Aragua, a recognized terrorist organization sent here by the Maduro regime, to create havoc, to unsettle the United States through the use of fentanyl to kill thousands of Americans, violence to American citizens, raping and murdering young women in this country?" Homan asked Fox and Friends. He says, "President Trump is going to make this country safe again. He's going to do it one illegal alien at a time." Now, you got pushed because, like I said, they're using the Illegal Enemies Act to do this, which is, it's over 100 years old. Cool. But
it's 200 years old. I don't give a shit how old it is.
Yeah, it does. Well, neither does Tom Homan because he had this to say when the reporter tried him.
You say to those who claim you're using a 200-year-old law to circumvent due process?
An old law? Not as old as the Constitution. We still pay attention to that, don't we?
But someone
Dude, it's great.
Bro, I do like that guy.
Dude, I like him, man. I like him a lot.
Yeah, Tom's a good dude.
Yeah, but
do you know him?
We've spoken a time or two.
Yeah. Fuck, bro.
He's awesome.
I love him too.
I fucking like him a lot.
Yeah, he doesn't give a shit.
I feel like he has some dark humor in there. Like if you got him in a room, bro.
He was a cop forever.
Yeah,
like
he has that cop vibe.
Yeah.
Bro, speaking of cops, did you hear that? Did you hear that law they're trying to do in Missouri, where if a police officer sends their kids to school, they get to go for free?
No, I hear that.
Yeah, it's called, I got.
You
it
mean
right
like to university and shit?
Yeah,
that's so they do. Texas does that for anybody that's got a Purple Heart.
I thought it was fucking awesome.
Yeah. Or 100% disability rating. There's a lot of states that do that, actually. I think
so it's called Senate Bill 71 here in Missouri. And basically what it does is it gives first responders free college for their kids, which I think is fucking amazing.
In the state of Missouri.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's something, when you guys go to vote, or call your state senators and make sure that they pass this shit, bro, because these people are out in the streets fucking dealing with the worst shit ever all day long. And dude, in my opinion, they get paid 3 or 4 times less than what they should be paid, especially with the amount of money these fuckers have been stealing through USAID and all this shit. Dude, it's so frustrating because we could pay these people so much more. They'd be so much more comfortable because this is a difficult job to do. The least we could do is allow them to send their kids to be educated for fucking free.
Well, I mean, the average cop qualifies with their service weapon 2 times a year with 50 rounds, right? That's unacceptable.
Yeah, no.
In a country this large, we need to have a legitimate professional police force. Now, it's not for a lack of effort on their part. They just don't have the time or money.
Is
like
what
you spend 8 hours a day on patrol, maybe 10, depending on what jurisdiction you're in, and another 2 or 3 hours doing fucking paperwork. Yeah, I'm sorry, you're not going to the range after that.
Yeah,
and if
dude,
you did, you wouldn't get anything out of it.
Listen, the job needs to be restructured to where these guys get paid properly, they have the proper benefits, and then what would happen is we would remove ourselves from the element of shitbag cops because the job would become a very valued asset again. We would have children saying, I want to be a cop.
Yeah.
I want to be a police. Dude, when I grew up, that's how it was.
Yeah.
You know, and dude, with the amount of money that's wasted here,
it's easily fixed.
Yes.
Easily fixed.
It's an easy fix.
And there's also so many downstream benefits. I mean, anybody that this is, I don't want to get too in the weeds on it, but anybody that understands economic theory, like you just think about Locke in general, John Locke in general, right? This idea that the ultimate right is the property right, and the ultimate property is yourself, right? And you are entitled to defend it however you want, right? And we've chosen as a society to hire a professional police force to help us with that task. Now, there's value to that outside of just safety. Like you can also look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Safety's right there. It's number one. But you can also look at downstream from property rights is security, right? Security. So in a number of different ways, not just physical security. If you're an investor, or you're a person, let's take it back to the pioneer days. If you're going to go somewhere and discover something and build a house and then maybe build a city there, you need to know that your asset's going to be protected. That means the government's not going to allow somebody to come in and just steal your shit. Because otherwise, what's the point? You know what I mean? What's the point of working 9 to 5? What's the point of working 12 hours a day if somebody could just come steal your shit?
Well, then we're
Somalia.
I mean?
Yeah,
okay,
exactly. Right? So one of the functions of government is to stop that from happening. That's one of the whole purposes of it. So yeah, I hate the government, but there's a function there. Yeah. Like I want you to do what you're supposed to do and do it well, and stay the fuck out of everything else, right? So this dude I'm familiar with, Jared Isaacman. I don't know if you've heard of him or not. He ran. He's the only privateer to ever go to space. He went to space on his own dime, basically, right? It's fucking wild. And before that, he was doing Red Cell consulting for the Air Force. He learned how to fly MiG jets, and then built this company where they're testing Air Force pilots on their ability to dogfight and shit. Like he's just a private citizen that did this shit. He came from the same thing that Elon did, from payment processing and shit like that. And he was just like, you know what? This seems like something to do. Now he's been nominated to be the NASA administrator, and I know you're a flat earther, but there is.
I'm not. Yeah, I am.
There is.
Are you?
No, fuck no.
Okay.
Kyrie Irving is though. That's why his knee got fucked up. But
because the earth was too flat.
Yeah. No, but of all the government shit that we're doing, one of the biggest returns on our investment.
I can't believe you called me a flat earther, bro. I'm offended.
I don't feel like there's anything to take offense to.
Yeah, because you're.
That is.
I'm a flat earther.
No, well,
I'm not like full fledged.
It's a black thing, I guess now.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, listen, I'm not like all the way there, but like I mean, I've seen.
Ice shelf theory is more likely than flat Earth.
I believe in both of them.
You can't. They're different things.
Said who?
All right. Anyway, so we're gonna have an intelligent conversation.
Now, of all the things that we've spent money on collectively as a government, NASA has probably been the one that has the biggest return on investment, right? Like every piece of technology.
Well, I mean, that movie they made about landing on the moon, high budget, bro.
Low budget, high reward.
Yeah. But everything that you're using right now to do what we're doing right now was made as a result of that organization, NASA, right? Like literally everything.
Where'd that technology come from?
The way these mics work, who knows? But they're the ones that got it. The phones that we're using, the computers that we're using, all this stuff. The internet developed as a result of NASA as well, and GPS, everything you use on a daily basis. It's one of the only organizations that has primarily been a federal organization that actually benefits people in a real meaningful way, and it doesn't just f people over. NASA's never f***ed anybody over. Maybe tricked a couple people a couple times.
Just lied a couple of times.
Yeah. But it's the only organization that actually functions.
They never f***ed anybody over once they became NASA, is what you're saying.
Correct. Yeah. And it's, to me, it's wild, man. We just defunded it a while back. But this is how we beat other people. So there's there's three main races going on. We're not in an arms race anymore. We're in an AI race. We got to beat China and AI. Right. We have to beat them in energy, not clean energy, energy. The more energy you produce, the better your society is, period. There's a direct line between those things. And the third one is space. All these fancy satellites we have that defend us and give us information and shit don't mean a goddamn thing if somebody could just shoot it down, right? That's the next frontier. Now, we may be talking about 25, 50 years from now, but just like every other organization, whether it be government or an agency within it or a business, you need strong leadership, right? And some of these, it's been hit or miss with some of these picks for departments, in my opinion. Pam Bondi sucks.
Terrible.
Agreed.
We'll see on Cash. I think he does. I think he'll do fine. But under her, like, they got to get rid of her.
You're going to see a fucking war between those two.
Something's going to happen. Yeah. I think. Yeah, I think she's going to end up getting replaced by Bailey or something.
I think so too. It should have been Bailey to start with.
It definitely should have been Bailey. Yeah. But Isaac Ben is that dude, man. He's a fucking entrepreneur that's ran multiple businesses, made himself a billionaire just by being smart. And he's like, you know what? America used to be great, and part of it was going to space and developing technology and satellites and protecting our shit, right? And figuring out how to do stuff, and I'm going to go do it again.
Yeah.
Right? That's the kind of guy you want. Elon is the kind of guy you want, and whether you agree with him on everything or not, and I disagree with him sometimes, that's the kind of guy you want looking for inefficiency, because he's done it and then sold companies for billions of dollars, man.
Yeah, well, dude, this is the other thing. People don't know how companies are valued, and if your company is heavily inefficient, you're going to get a much lesser valuation. This is the reason that they come in and audit everything that you do before they buy. They say, "What the fuck? Where'd that 5 cents? What's that?" Like, the amount of depth they go into is insane.
So it's like, think about yourself from a CPG. Let's say this can right here is 2 separate parts, not including the print. So it's 3 things that happen with this can. You have the can itself, you have the lid, which is separate, and then you have the print on the outside of it. If you're locked into a 5-year contract that's a shitty contract on one of those items, and somebody tries to come buy your company, they're like,
Yeah, that's
like,
right.
I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to give you $100 million less because you made a stupid fucking mistake.
That's
right?
Yeah.
People don't understand
They don't understand it, but like somebody like Elon does. So when he's combing through this stuff and finding stuff and cutting it out, like, great. I mean, we still need Congress to actually make it permanent, which TBD on that. But that won't be his fault if it doesn't happen. He's doing the right thing. People are worried about an oligarchy, but when we put billionaires in charge of stuff, why do you think that is a billionaire?
Yeah, well, not only that,
because he got lucky.
Yeah, he got lucky.
He got lucky 4 different times.
We're cool. We're cool with them if there are billionaires.
Yeah, well,
like George Soros can do it. Like, that's
certainly. But they never tried to put Soros directly in charge. But here's the other issue: they still run a version of an oligarchy. It's just an oligarchy of incompetence.
That's correct.
It's like, well, we just need this group to be in charge for the next 40 years. But what the f have you ever done except for be in government? You've done nothing.
Bro,
Joe Biden never had a real job in his life. He was 29 years old when he entered Congress, and he never had a real job after that. Not once.
Listen, not a single one of those people could run one week in one of my retail stores.
Yeah.
They couldn't do it. They could not do it, bro. They could not do it.
It'd be a fun test.
It'd be hilarious because they wouldn't get it.
Yeah.
You know?
Maybe that should be part of it. I think you
should put a challenge out. Like, you challenge any of them, and if they can, then you'll vote for them.
No, if they can, I'll award them a franchise.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty nice.
For free.
Yeah.
On my dollar. I'll fucking build it out. I'll put the whole, the whole thing.
All right, AOC, come on.
They can't do it.
No, she can do it.
Obama can't do it.
Obama couldn't do it.
No, they can't do it. It's because of what Dan said earlier. They're used to operating with unlimited resources. Mm-hmm. And that's not the way the fucking effective organizations are. You have to operate within budget. Trump knows this. Mm-hmm. This is the main reason they all hate him, because he won't allow them. Well, he did allow them, but he's working to not allow them to just fleece American citizens to make themselves rich. Look, dude, that's why the tax argument is such bullshit. They print all the money they need anyway. Yeah.
Bro, they just found like 14 magic
taxes
money.
Are not met now. Like, the way taxes are presently are not meant to fund anything in the government. They are meant to financially create hardship for the American citizen to make them easier to control.
Bro, did you see Elon Musk just came out today, I think, talking about it, that they found, Doge has found 14, he calls them magic money computers that are strategically placed around the government. Like there's a few in the Department of Treasury, there's a few in the DOD, a few in the State Department, HHS, and these computers, and they literally, like, they're cutting checks, whatever they need them to do.
They create money out of thin air just by moving decimal points away and shit.
Out of nothing.
Cool. Well, that's not real. That's always the danger in a fiat currency, obviously.
Well, bro, that serves them too.
Yeah.
Because if they print more money, then these people have less, no matter what they have. Like
this was in the. It may not be real, but the effects are fucking real.
The monetary system in the United States is it's impossible, virtually impossible, for someone to come out ahead of it. It's just that bad. Unless you are making an extraordinary amount of money, okay, and it has to be extraordinary, you can't come out ahead, because even at the end, they take fucking 60% of it.
Give or take, about 60,
yeah.
For most people.
Yeah,
I've got a radical idea. I think let's use our debt the right way, right? So here's how I would do it. I would run a debt for fiscal year 2025, and then that's what I would tax the following year, and no more. You're not allowed to spend more money. And then the next year, so on and so forth. Then people would start paying attention to who they're voting for in November, because that fiscal year ends in September. Taxes are due in October. Right? And then the vote's in November. And then we'll see who votes for whom.
Yeah, that'd be interesting, man. Well, last little piece, I want to bring this up too, because there's something else going on at the White House. You got Conor McGregor's in there.
I saw that.
He's chilling with Trump.
He's not
right
beating
now.
up old dudes in bars in Ireland anymore.
He looks thick, man.
Dude, I was just talking about that this morning.
Like, when he punched the guy.
He punched that old man in the face.
The guy didn't go down either. It was like an 80-year-old.
No, he didn't even flinch, bro.
No.
Conor McGregor punched this old man in the face who refused a shot of proper 12. I guess like he was disrespected. And he punched this dude in the face. And he didn't even move. He just kept drinking.
Yeah. To be fair, that 80-year-old's probably been sitting on that bar stool for 70 of those 80 years.
That's right.
He couldn't move. He was glued to it.
Yeah.
Ireland, dude, Irish people are scrappy, bro.
They don't fuck around.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, he's there. And
they're going to have to be, because they're getting evicted right now.
Bro. Well, that's what he was there calling out. I mean, and he's calling it all out. Saying zero accountability. I didn't know he's 36. I didn't know he was that young. I mean, he looks a little older than 36, but might be the proper 12.
No, it's probably the living on a yacht, partying all the time. Who knows what drugs?
Some Peruvian baby powder.
I mean, listen, the motherfucker's been having a good time.
Yeah, man. But yeah, he got in there, man, and he's been challenging some stuff. We had a nice little exchange at the in the press briefing room.
Look at that David August suit he's wearing,
it looks
bro.
clean, man.
Yeah.
I thought he would have did the fuck you pinstripe, but I guess
it's green.
Looks better.
St. Patrick's Day.
It is St. Patrick's Day. He looks better than Zelensky does, though. So that's good. But yeah. Do you think he's talking about like taking over Ireland, bro?
Play the clip.
What is going on in Ireland is a travesty. Our government is the government of zero action with zero accountability. Our money is being spent on overseas issues that has nothing to do with the Irish people.
He's very nervous.
The illegal immigration racket is running ravage on the country. There are rural towns in Ireland that have been overrun in one swoop, that have become a minority in one swoop. So issues need to be addressed. And the 40 million Irish Americans, as I said, need to hear this, because if not, there will be no place to come home and visit.
You get to feel his breathing.
He's
trying to say more
nervous.
shit.
Yeah,
bro, he's up there trying to say more shit. He has a lot to say.
He wants to kill them all.
Yeah, that's right.
What he wants to say.
He's definitely a little nervous, anxiety. Public speaking is not easy, to be honest.
No.
And but he's right about everything he's saying. By the way, if you saw Martyr made on Joe Rogan, and whether you agree with everything he says or not, one of the things he said was that Ireland's on course to be minority Irish by in 2070.
Yeah,
right?
that's not okay, dude.
In like 45 years.
It's not okay.
No, of course it's not okay. Why would you, like, that whole thing, and then Rogan went on to talk about it more as well, but nobody gives China any grief for wanting to stay Chinese, and why would they? It's China. That's right there in the goddamn name. You know what I mean? Ireland's been there for a minute.
I said that in a clip that was posted around, and everybody in the fucking comments was like, what he's really saying is that America's just for white people. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up.
No, we did something different here. We did
That's right.
Individual liberty here. That's our race.
individual liberty with an accepted universal culture.
Yeah. Yeah. That's our race. Our race isn't, it just happens to not be ethnic anymore. But we still have
It's
a
culture.
racial culture here.
Yeah.
It's identity for sure.
Act like you talk, it doesn't matter what.
Every other country sees us that way. You know what I'm saying? They all see us as, fat, lazy Americans.
Yeah.
We're the only ones that like to divide ourselves.
Yeah.
Stupid.
We'll
man.
still whoop your ass, though.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah, we're that big fat cousin sitting on the couch and get up and knock you the out.
Everybody talks a lot until it's time to do some shit.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. Come take our
Where the are they? Where's their shit? Y'all a bunch of pussies.
Yeah.
Calling us what we are. Y'all call us when you need shit.
Well, it's like Michael Jordan. It's like, yeah, people say I was brutal. It's because they have never won anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like don't take any criticism from anybody you wouldn't take advice from. That's always a good standard.
Dude, you know as well as I do. You've been in enough business that have done very well to understand what it takes to win. It is not for everyone. The biggest lie in society right now is that everyone can start a business, and everyone can start a business. Not everybody can win at it.
I mean, 80% of businesses fail in the first.
I could shoot free throws. That doesn't mean I'm going to be good at it. Anyway,
no dunking.
I'm with the Connor, bro. Let's go clean it up for him.
Yep.
No dunking for sure.
Yeah, no, you caught that.
Yeah,
yeah, man, guys, jumping on this conversation.
No dunking and hot dogs and unseasoned chicken when I get done, right? With some corn water.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, that's nasty, man. Well, guys, jumping on this conversation, let us know what you guys think down in the comments. We got one final segment of headlines here for you. We got headline number 3. Let's talk about some race relations. I think this is a good time to do it.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. I mean, listen.
My favorite.
I mean, just American culture where we are, I think. A nice little check-in, temperature check. Headline number 3 reads, woman pleads guilty in cross-burning hoax during Colorado Springs mayoral campaign. Have you guys seen this? I can't remember if we covered this. I don't think we covered it, but it came out originally. This was back in like 23. It came out originally that, this black mayoral candidate, this guy right here, okay, he was running for mayor in Colorado Springs, Colorado, and one of his campaign signs was defaced with a burning cross and some not too kind words.
Yeah,
okay.
and who would have done such a thing?
Yeah, I mean, got to be a racist person.
Of course.
Got to be a piece of shit person.
White people.
You know what I'm saying? It's got to be bad. He was running against a white person. And, now it comes out that a woman who was part of a group charged with setting a cross on fire in front of a defaced campaign sign for candidate who actually became and won the race because of this. All right.
This is Juicy Smollett.
Because nobody wanted to be racist, right? Like, but yeah, she pleaded guilty on Tuesday, and what authorities says was a hoax. Deanna West, one of 3 people indicted in the 2023 incident, pleaded guilty in Denver federal court to one count of being part of a conspiracy to set the fire and then spread false information about it in the run-up to the election of Mayor Yemi Mubalade.
What?
Mobalade. Oogala boogala. That's what it is.
Yeah. Sweet. Oh, there we go. What are those pens?
So he has an Air Force pin on.
Yep.
I believe he's an immigrant or naturalized citizen.
What's that flower? What is that?
Gay, maybe.
I think that's just a
thing
for the suit.
Yeah. Like a little.
That's like a little. That's
tail
like a
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this guy. So in exchange, prosecutors said that they would drop an additional charge related to actually setting the fire. So prosecutors say that after staging the cross burning, a photo and video of it were sent to media and civic organizations, making it seem like an attack on Mubalade. Now, again, who are these people, right? Because there's names. You got Deanna West. You got another guy, Derek Bernard Jr. Okay, sounds reasonable. But here's the thing, man. They were all BIPOCs.
Where's the girl?
Here's one. This is Ashley Hernandez.
What happened to her face?
She probably got, beat by the white supremacists.
It looks like she had a stroke.
Yeah. She got like a little poke.
It looks like she has a 60 IQ.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's for sure.
It's definitely double digits.
That's for sure.
Okay, so a black man and a Hispanic woman set a cross on fire, blaming on white people.
Correct.
Now, how is that not a hate crime?
Right.
versus white people.
It should be. And that's actually the funny thing is, Andy,
Bro,
that's
listen.
what people have been calling for, bro.
Well, listen, standing up for your own race is not racism.
Yeah.
It's when you start to press on other races, which is racism.
Right.
And a lot of people who happen to be white do not understand that you have every right and should stand up when things are against you. That's not saying you should be against anybody else, but that's saying, hey, I have a problem with that. That's not okay. And we don't do that at all. All right. We've been bullied and beat and punished into accepting any discrimination that we have against ourselves as, well, you know, we are white, so it is what it is.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's interesting because I openly say all the time that white people have the right to stand up for themselves and should, to balance out reality. Because right now, white people are the only people that are allowed to be openly, I guess, persecuted out of any of the races legally. Okay. Up until recently.
Yeah.
All right. So, and that's been my whole life. That's also been your whole life, bro.
Yeah.
And just until recently with the affirmative action changes and things like that, have things started to change. Well, I was thinking about this as someone who, you know, I live in Missouri. I'm a white dude. I'm pretty vocal. I kind of stand up for what I think is right. I mean, if anybody were be invited to, you know, Klan meetings or white supremacy meetings, you would think I would have got an invite.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying?
You didn't get an invite?
But weirdly enough, I've never, ever seen one of these people. I've never seen, and you know why? Because it's not a real problem the way that it's presented to be.
No, it's nonsense.
It's a scary boogeyman that lives under the bed or in the closet that they scare the fuck out of everybody with. Now,
it's just like the Italian mafia. At its height, there were 5,500 total members.
Yeah.
You would think it'd be a million.
Like, fuck off,
Yeah,
dude.
right.
5,500 people, just let them do what they want.
Yeah.
You know
Well,
what I
they
mean?
actually
Yes.
did a lot of good for society.
I
They
agree
took
with
these people who do this bullshit and handled it.
Yeah.
You know what
well,
I'm saying?
You know what's really funny about this whole story? You know who Wilford Riley is?
Wilford Riley.
He's an
Name
author.
sounds-
He is a history professor. I think American history professor at an HBCU, an historically black college.
Yeah.
And he wrote a book. I think it was in 2019 called "Hate Crime Hoax," and it was after that Juicy Smollett bullshit. And his research found that
oh yeah, he got destroyed.
of the 346 total hate crimes reported during the Trump administration, 1 in 3 were fake.
Yeah. Yes.
Including LeBron James, by the way. If you think somebody went up into Brentwood and started tagging up houses with the N-word and didn't get caught on a camera somewhere, get the fuck out of
Bro,
here.
we've had it happen here a bunch of times.
Bro.
Like
It's
schools and
such
We've
bullshit.
had situations here in the St. Louis greater area where, you know, people go into the stall and someone scrawled the N-word or some shit. They shut down the school. Blah, blah, blah.
Protests. Yeah.
Come to find out,
Yeah.
it was a black student.
Yeah, right.
And that's happened over and over and over again. And at some point, people should be genuinely harshly punished for that because of the division that it creates in society. I don't want to be invited to white supremacy. I don't want, like, bro, to me, if you're cool, you're cool. If you're not, you're not. And that's that. That's, in my opinion, and in my mentality, that's what America's supposed to be.
I think we got to start talking more shit to each other again.
Yeah.
Like you're starting to see a lot more black comedians on social media making fun of dumb black shit, which is super nice.
Bro,
like,
bro,
it's
I
good
mean,
to see that come
comedy is the bridge, bro.
It always is, yeah.
Comedy is the bridge to
pressure.
unity.
It's the
That's
pressure.
the only way you can deliver truth.
Yes.
Comedy is the pressure relief valve.
Yes.
You and I are in some heated argument, and then some dipshit walks by. We're like, that guy's a
Look at that fucking idiot.
idiot. And then you and I are friends again all of a
Yeah.
sudden. You know what I mean? That's just how it works.
Bro, listen, dude, and I think most people agree with that. I think I think the massive majority of people agree with it, which is why these situations are so harmful to culture. You got Don Lemon on fucking TV arguing with what's his face?
Bill Maher.
Yeah, saying Bill Maher says, well, clearly there's some racists in every area, and he goes, Don Lemon goes, well, MAGA's racist. And he goes, well, there's probably racist people in MAGA. And he goes, no, I'm saying most of MAGA is racist. And it's like, bro, people like that are the reason that we can't all fucking just get along, bro. And
well, he went on to say, if somebody said that they were black and MAGA, I wouldn't believe him, which is just paraphrasing Joe Biden saying, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
Bro, he just paraphrased.
How's that not racist?
No,
of course
it is.
I know that.
It is.
I get that.
But it's like,
but we have to start calling out racism against all races.
Right. Well, that's the thing. The problem is, it's like, the power.
How come it's okay for anybody to, dude? You could say anything you want about white people, and nobody will say a thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's a good thought experiment. So this February is Black History Month.
Yeah.
And March is now Irish History Month in America, right? If DJ shows up to work tomorrow dressed like a traditional Irishman, nobody's going to give a f***. But if I show up tomorrow dressed like a black dude,
in blackface, you got to say traditional black, because what does that mean?
And chains? I don't fucking know. A bunch of cotton tucked into my shirt.
I'm just saying, you said traditional Irish. Like, what's traditional black? Like,
well, I mean, like if you showed up with ginger hair and your face painted white with freckles on
no
it.
one say shit.
And then I show up to the next day in blackface.
Bro.
Right?
Bro.
I mean, that's a good...
Look, dude. No. I got the better example. It's, okay, like...
If I show up...
No, listen.
In my kid's life.
Listen. I'm being... Cultural appropriation.
Yeah.
Okay. I saw a video on the internet of a white girl getting destroyed because she had braids. And by the way, she looks stupid with braids.
She does.
Okay?
Destroy her for that.
Okay.
For looking like an asshole.
All right.
Right?
But, and this was black people destroying her. Black women specifically. But black women can wear blonde wigs.
That ain't right.
They can do all kind and nobody can say shit. And by the way, I don't want to say shit because I don't give a fuck. But the point is that we're talking out of both sides of our mouth here. All right? It's not cultural appropriation for one class of people to do one thing and then the other class of people to do the exact same thing the other way and that it's okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
nonsense.
yeah, it's
if imitation is the highest form of flattery, then appropriation is just
kind of a compliment. That's right.
It seems like it. Now, obviously, if you're dressed up like Al, what's his name? The jazz singer, Al Jolson, or whatever the name was, Al Jolson, I think. If you have like brown paint around the edge of your face and then giant red lips, maybe that's racist. That might be a little racist. Shit.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? But it's still funny, to be honest, but it might be a little bit racist. But yeah, this is all postmodernism, right?
Bro, listen.
This is Marxism. It's postmodernism. It is establish classes and then rank them based on victimhood and use that to divide everybody. That's what it is. It's
1,000%.
It's just Marxism.
It's
just not clever. It's not new. It's not empathetic.
It's fucking annoying.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
It's done. It's like the lowest frequency kind of way.
But I
go
think
about
people have started to grasp these things we're talking about.
Well, yeah, because more shit like this keeps happening.
Yeah.
And like, 100%. Bro, like we in this country should be, like, dude, you say whatever you want about Martin Luther King. I think one of the greatest things that ever was said by Martin Luther King was that we should be judging people on the content of their character, not their race.
Yeah.
Like, bro, how fucking stupid do you have to be to literally look at someone of a certain race and say, well, I think that person's a fucking shitbag because they happen to have more melanin or less melanin or this or that. Like, dude, it's just it's a low IQ argument.
Yeah.
And, unfortunately, unfortunately, it's been pumped into our brains for so long. Like, dude, when you and I were growing up, the racial tensions were not as bad as they have been recently.
No.
Like, the young class, the younger people have been tricked into believing that this is another civil rights era. When in reality, dude, when in our age, we grew up, everybody was fucking cool, man.
Well, the solved problems don't get out the vote. That's the issue.
That's right.
Right. So you got to keep that thing going.
So let's reinvent some problems.
Yeah. And it shows you how, like, I mean, I look for people that have deep first principles, even if they're misguided. You believe what you believe and you anchor yourself from that and you try to figure everything else out because now I can talk to that guy. I know what he actually believes and not just because here's two pretty decent examples. One is the one you just made where things that what most people would consider the most important civil rights activist in the history of this country said that phrase, and that was the anchor point of his entire ideology. And the left believed in it so much that they made a party about it. That became their party message for all this time. And then they switched it up and said, you know what? Now actually we are going to judge based on race. It's like, okay, cool. You don't really believe in that, do you? And now we've seen a recent example over the past 6 months, and it's Elon Musk. These leftists who believe in that the world is going to end. The world is going to end soon by 2050 if we don't do something.
For 40 years.
And God, who was it? Who was that dipshit?
Al Gore?
Kelly. No, Mark Kelly from Arizona.
Oh,
the former
the
NASA
astronaut?
guy. Yeah. Dickhole. He got rid of his Tesla and traded it in for a V8 Chevy.
Yeah, right.
So you don't tell me you believe that shit.
First of all, we all know that the green movement is a vessel for fucking communism and control, period. Okay?
Yeah, it's nonsense.
We've had what I consider to be the foremost expert in this field on our show twice. Which is Curtis Bowers, who wrote Agenda and Agenda 2, which are both amazing documentaries about green movement being
just understanding communism,
a vessel for communism, right?
Yeah.
So we just had, and I don't know if you saw this, the ex-president and founding member of Greenpeace come out literally in the last 3 days talking about viral clip. He's been saying this for a long time, which is why he was persecuted out of the movement. But there's a viral clip going around of him right now talking about how the entire green movement is total bullshit and how we actually have CO2 deficiency in our atmosphere right now, meaning we actually need more CO2 so the plants can make more oxygen because we have more fucking people.
Yeah. It's nonsense. It's like, this is a self-correcting problem. Plant trees. You don't have to stop emissions. Just plant more trees.
Dude, the trees we have aren't growing as fast because there's not enough fucking carbon. Like it's so what do you got to make more carbon? Well, kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like if we're going to have 8 billion people on the earth, that's going to throw it out of whack.
More cow farts.
Pretty much.
Eat more steak.
Yeah, so if you understand the actual science behind the actual science, not the bullshit science. If you understand that, like they taught us in fucking first grade science class, like plants eat carbon dioxide and then they produce oxygen and then we are alive. Well, it should make sense to you then that when we have 8 billion people, when we used to have fucking 4, okay, that we're going to need twice the amount of oxygen, which means we either need more plants and probably more carbon too to produce the amount that we need. But
their goal, let's just take the people away.
Their goal is to justify the removal of all of these quote unquote, and this is their thinking, not mine, quote unquote peasant class people that are not going to be needed once AI starts to really filter through. People don't understand, dude. Like these people are diabolical and they understand that AI is going to take all the jobs. The AI robotics mix is going to create all the labor. And they don't need the working class anymore. They don't need them. All they're going to do is cause problems. All right, we're facing some very dangerous shit globally because it doesn't mean the United States doesn't have to do it. Somebody else can do it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, bro. Like, we're off track.
No, that's good. I mean,
people that do this and fake race attacks, they should go to prison for a very long time.
I agree.
I almost think that they need to go in the wood chipper with all the pedophiles.
I would agree. I knew this was up.
Someone argue with me about that. About why do you think that the people that touch kids should be executed right away? Well, here's why. Because first of all, it's evil. But second of all, do you know what happened to those people who do the molesting when they were kids? They were molested. Okay? And so if you have a predator who molests 70 kids, those 70 kids then grow up statistically to potentially be more likely to molest other kids, which means you have a problem that grows at scale the more you allow this in society. And nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about it. All child predators should be executed without hesitation.
Yeah.
Because it stops a cultural, dude, you can't stop it any other way.
It keeps going. But I do got one last little question on this piece here. I mean, I knew that this was bullshit when I first saw the cross itself, because like
a white man would have done a much better job putting that cross.
I mean,
together.
like listen, it's supposed to be 10 feet tall. Okay, like I mean, like there's regulations and shit. Don't ask me how I know. But do you guys think the mayor was in on it?
Yes, highly likely.
Highly likely.
I don't know, what's his iPhone message say there. That's
well,
always...
so that's the interesting thing. So like the Bernard guy, right? This guy, he's the one that actually set it ablaze. He told Mobilade that he was, quote, they got all of this stuff from his Facebook and messages. They said he was, quote, mobilizing my squadron in defense and for the final push, Black Ops style, big brother. The Klan cannot be allowed to run this city again.
When did the Klan run the city, bro?
Colorado Springs, bro.
That's my point.
Come on.
Probably not. I mean, Colorado was never a slave state, obviously, right?
Bro,
what he's saying is we cannot allow white people to run this city. That's what the fuck he's actually 100%. Saying.
And then Mobilade was then accused of speaking with Bernard for about 5 minutes on the phone 3 days after the cross burning. Now, he's obviously denying having any knowledge or involvement in the crime and revealed a letter from the U.S. Department of Justice that identified him as a victim during the investigation into the cross burning. I think he needs to be investigated because there's no way.
I mean, you could verify that phone thing pretty easy.
Pretty easy, yeah. Pretty easy. So I don't know. You guys, tell us what you guys think. I personally think, I speculate he was in on it. But tell us what you guys think.
That's my speculation too.
Yeah.
If I'm betting, absolutely.
Yeah, he was in it for sure. All right, well, let's get to our final segment of the show, guys. We've been rolling. Feels good. We can't miss it, though. We got thumbs up or dumb as fuck, guys. This is where we bring a headline in, talk about it. You get one of those two options. And so with that being said, our thumbs up or dumb as fuck headline reads, Peruvian fisherman lost for 95 days in Pacific Ocean is found alive.
I would say thumbs up on that one. And my guess is he's got an unruly wife at home. And he was on vacation for 95 days.
He wasn't lost. Yeah.
A professional fisherman isn't getting lost out at sea, boy.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just don't buy that shit.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Let's dive into it. So, a Peruvian fisherman has been found alive after spending a grueling 95 days living off insects, birds, and sea turtles when his food supply ran out while he was lost at sea. Maximo Napa Castro. That's a nice name. It's a powerful name. Set sail on a fishing trip from his southern Peruvial coastal town of Marcona on December 7th with enough food to last him 2 weeks. However, 10 days into his trip, the 61-year-old fisherman strayed off course due to bad weather, sending his boat drifting aimlessly into the vast Pacific Ocean. When Napa Castro did not return home, his family reported him missing, and Peru's maritime patrols began scanning the waters for the missing fisherman for weeks without luck. He hadn't been found until months later when an Ecuadorian fishing patrol boat found his boat drifting 680 miles from the country's coastline.
I mean, did he not have the ability to move his boat from one place to another? Because if you're in the Pacific Ocean, right?
Yeah.
And you're seeing the sun come up.
You would think, yeah.
Just go towards it.
Yeah.
Because that's east, motherfucker. You would think a fisherman would know that, which again, I think he probably faked all that. This sounds terrible. Although I do wonder if he had a volleyball, but since he's South American, did he have a fucking soccer ball instead with a face painted on it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to be racially appropriate.
Wilson.
Here. Yeah,
Wilson.
It would be called like, what do you say Wilson in Spanish?
I don't know, but I wonder.
Walico?
Yeah. No, I think it's probably just Wilson, actually. But
really,
I think it's just.
I don't know, man. I'll make something up. We just add an O to the end of it.
Wilson.
That's what my dad does.
Yeah.
This dude.
We go to Mexico.
L. Wilson. L. Wilson.
Yeah. L. Wilson. O.
Look at the fucking hair on this guy,
dude. It looks that's Maximo, bro. Like, yeah. I mean, it's
my dad. El Bureau.
Yeah.
Can I get 2 El Bureaus?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you don't believe it?
No.
I mean. He looks pretty happy by who he got rescued by.
I genuinely don't believe that a 60-year-old professional fisherman didn't know which way east was. No, I don't. I don't believe that.
That's him there in the middle, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He looks pretty healthy for being out there that long, too.
Yeah.
He's eating fucking sea turtles, bro.
Anyway, thumbs up.
A lot of protein in those sea turtles. Yeah, I'm thumbs up on that one. I like either way it happened. He was either a tough guy that survived.
Look, he's trying to trade in that wife you're talking about right
there,
bro.
or that was it.
Yeah.
And he took a 3-month vacation.
Look at him looking at her. He's like, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Peru, too. He probably had a fucking pound of cocaine on that boat.
Bro, that's how he really stayed alive.
For 90 days?
That's why he's so excited.
Yeah. What else did you do to those sea turtles? That's my question. Shit, bro. That might have got... Yeah, all right.
Turtles don't like straws, so I don't know. That's
probably how he killed him.
Yeah.
It is Peru, though.
He probably killed him with the straws, you know?
Yeah. We'll see, man. All right, well, we got thumbs up on this, man.
Kind of just want to snort cocaine off a turtle shell now.
Well, guys, Andy, Dan, that's all I got, man.
Yeah.
Hey, brother, thanks for coming in, dude.
Yeah.
I always enjoy our conversations. You have a book that you're writing.
Yeah, it's almost finished.
You want to talk about it all?
Yeah, it's called An American Reformation, and it's I guess you could say it's a list of tenets that I think are important to do what we're talking about, to reestablish this connection between you as a citizen and the fucking government. We will invariably get the government we deserve.
I agree.
Right. So the best way to get the best possible government is to improve yourself.
That's right.
Right. And there are tenets like, truth through discourse, no censorship, shit like that.
Yeah.
Decentralization as sacred, I think, is something that we need to get back to. There's a number of them. And
when you plan on having this out?
Well, we're in the publisher process now, so however long it takes them to edit and decide all that bullshit.
Cool.
I would like it to be out later this year, but
well, when it comes out, bro, you have to come back on.
Yeah, I'll be here.
Cool. Well, thanks, brother.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
All right, guys, that's the show. Don't be a hoe.
Share the show.